Corruption has definitely been rampant, because even if you look at the regimes now, may it be the Congress regime or the BJP regime, there has been one thing which has been common in Karnataka, which is corruption, which has grown over the years. But when the Lokayukta came into place, it was a completely independent body. It had the complete powers to go on and take strict action without the involvement of any of the government, may it be the BJP government, the JDS Congress coalition government, or the JDS BJP coalition government, or even the BJP government for that matter. But once the Lokayukta was dismantled during the Congress regime and the Anti-Corruption Bureau was introduced, the BJP goes on and alleges that corruption increased during this point of time, to which the Congress went on to retort, saying that the Lokayukta was not completely dismantled, but we also brought in up yet another branch, which is the Anti-Corruption Bureau, because the corruption was quite rampant in the state of Karnataka, to which the BJP repeatedly pointed out, giving out stats saying that this was the time when corruption increased, because the ACB was working under the gambit of the state government, and therefore they had complete control over it, and it was not an independent body. And these were the sort of arguments which was made. But again, when the BJP came to power in Karnataka, they made sure that the Lokayukta is reinstated, and they had complete powers as well. But again now, the Congress is going on to claim that they had never stopped the Lokayukta from working in the state of Karnataka, in the state of Karnataka. And all said and done, there will definitely be a lot of credit wars over this. But one cannot forget the fact that so far the 8 crore rupees, 8 crore 12 lakhs 30,000 rupees has been one of the largest seizures in the history of Karnataka's Lokayukta ever.
Oh yes, absolutely. So, at this point in time, Prajwal, it would appear that both the main political rivals over there blaming each other for the corruption. But even as, the Congress party tries to make maximum capital out of it, let's listen into what they are saying.
It's 2 years. Not only our party, JDS and the contractors associations and a lot of public, they were telling about 40% commission. See, this is a proof. Not only this incident, wherever you go in BJP government, same thing is happening. Now we urge Bommai to resign from the Chief Minister's post.
All right, so the BJP over there under fire from the Congress over corruption allegations against one of its MLAs. As far as the MLA is concerned, he's still missing. His son, of course, has been arrested. About 8 crore rupees in cash was seized. Now, while addressing the legal fraternity in New Delhi, the Chief Justice of India made some important statements on fake news, trolling and tolerance. Here's more.
Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud made a significant statement on fake news while speaking at American Bar Association India Conference 2023 on the theme Law in the Age of Globalization, Convergence of India and the West.
Some of this is perhaps the product of technology itself. Truth has become the victim in an age of false news. With the spread of social media, something which is said as a seed germinates into virtually a whole theory which can never be tested on the anvil of rational science.
The CJI spoke about a range of issues, including technology and its use by the judiciary, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, and issues confronting the judicial profession.
For every little thing that we do, and believe you me, as judges we are no exceptions to this, because for everything that you do, you face the threat of being trolled by someone who doesn't share your point of view. We live today in an age where people are short on their patience and they are short on their tolerance. They are short on their patience, which is a reminder to me to be brief. But people are also short on the tolerance because we're not willing to accept perspectives which are different from our own.
His statement on trolling and tolerance has also been one of the highlights. CJI also gave details of how the Supreme Court has adopted technology, including live streaming of proceedings on the Constitution benches and translation of judgments in regional languages. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Well, you're watching Republic TV, and we now bring you visuals of Indian Army Jawans playing cricket in the Galwan area.
That India is changed when a gangster called Atiq Ahmed runs for cover. There is one particular phrase that Yogi Adityanath used today that has gone totally viral. Bhaglo ya bhaglo. Bhaglo, B-H-A-G, bhaglo, meaning participate in the process of development. Or bhaglo, which means run away. This is a no-nonsense approach. The law-abiding citizens of this country, fed up of the mafia, the corruption, the terrorism, the threat, and the pseudo-secular Soros approach, they have come to love the Yogi approach. Why do people who say that India must dismantle Hindutva, why do these people have a problem when you say dismantle the mafia Yogi style? They say he dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle the mafia. They say dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle their secular gangsters. They say dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle the weak negativity and corruption that people like Atiq Ahmed and gangster politicians have come to represent. Doesn't Atiq Ahmed, Mukhtar Ansari and a whole lot of this gangster scum, the fact that Yogi gets them groveling, doesn't it make you want to rejoice? And that's why I began by saying that you know that India has changed when gangsters scum like Atiq Ahmed run for cover.
अभी राजस्थान में मसला हुआ था भिवानी वाले में, उसमें वो जो मोनू मानेसर उसके साथी श्रीकांत पंडित है, उनकी धर्मपत्नी की पिटाई हुई, क्या क्या हुआ, बहुत सारी चीजें हुई मामले में। हरियाणा पुलिस की एफआईआर के अलावा मतलब ये वो सारी चीजें हैं।
देखिए, एक इंडिविजुअल घटना को लेकर के परसेप्शन नहीं,
पर ये इतनी बड़ी बन जाती है सिचुएशन,
घटना बड़ी है। मैं उसको इसकी घटना की निंदा करता हूँ मैं, लेकिन उसको ये कहें कि कोई लॉ एंड ऑर्डर खराब हो गया है, ऐसी स्थिति नहीं है।
पर ऐसा परसेप्शन बना दिया जाता है।
मैं कहता हूँ गलत बनाते हैं ना। आखिर तो हमने किसी दोषी को छोड़ा नहीं है।
माशरुकुद्दीन के घर पर अब बड़ी कार्रवाई हो रही है। हिस्ट्री शीटर बताया जा रहा है, फिनेंसर बताया जा रहा है, इस गांव का प्रधान भी है और कहा जा रहा है कि ये जो मकान मेरे पीछे आप देख रहे हैं, इसे नियमों को ताक पर रख कर बनाया गया, अब इसे गिराया जाएगा। उमेश पाल हत्याकांड में शरीक जो शूटर्स थे, उनको हथियार मुहैया कराना, उनको फंडिंग करने में ये शख्स शामिल था। देखिए, आलीशान 2 मंजिला ये मकान था जो माफिया ने बनाया था, जो गलत काम करके बनाया गया था, जिसकी फंडिंग गलत तरीके से हुई थी। अब उस मकान को विकास प्राधिकरण, प्रयागराज विकास प्राधिकरण गिरा रहा है।
पहली लड़ाई कौन सी देखी आपने?
मैं 1962 में कमीशन हो गया।
और यू कमीशन आफ्टर द वॉर सर?
यस, लेकिन 65 में था। मेरा 65 का रोल तो बहुत जबरदस्त था। चीन के साथ मुठभेड़ हुआ था एज ए मिलिट्री हिस्टोरियन। समहाउ जो हमारा एक्शन है 1965 का, नाथुला, जयलपरा, सेबुला, वो हिस्ट्री में अपीयर ही नहीं। फोर्ट पैरा थी हमारे साथ, उनको भी डेकोरेशन मिली और हमारी कैजुअलिटीज भी हुई हैं, लेकिन वो कैसे स्किप कर दिया, क्यों स्किप कर दिया, द नेशन डजंट नो।
That India has changed when
Pro-Khalistan supporters attack Hindu temple in Brisbane. The boundary wall is defaced. United States President Joe Biden's doctor has revealed that he has successfully removed a cancerous skin lesion in February. As the Russia-Ukraine war intensifies, the White House announces the 33rd new military aid for Ukraine. India slams Pakistan on the issue of religious freedom of minorities at the UNHRC.
Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia will be brought here at the Rouse Avenue Court as his CBI custody ends today. Sisodia in his bail plea has also asserted that he is going to adhere by any summons and that there is no point of keeping him in the custody. Stay tuned to Republic TV. We'll be right back after a very short break and keep you updated on this story.
That India has changed when a gangster called Atiq Ahmed runs for cover. There is one particular phrase that Yogi Adityanath used today that has gone totally viral. Bhaglo ya bhaglo. Bhaglo, B-H-A-G, bhaglo, meaning participate in the process of development. Or bhaglo, which means run away. This is a no-nonsense approach. The law-abiding citizens of this country, fed up of the mafia, the corruption, the terrorism, the threat, and the pseudo-secular Soros approach, they have come to love the Yogi approach. Why do people who say that India must dismantle Hindutva, why do these people have a problem when you say dismantle the mafia Yogi style? They say he dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle the mafia. They say dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle their secular gangsters. They say dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle the weak negativity and corruption that people like Atiq Ahmed and gangster politicians have come to represent. Doesn't Atiq Ahmed, Mukhtar Ansari and a whole lot of this gangster scum, the fact that Yogi gets them groveling, doesn't it make you want to rejoice? And that's why I began by saying that you know that India has changed when gangsters scum like Atiq Ahmed run for cover.
मैं आपका पर्सनल व्यू जानना चाहता हूं। रेप के चार्ज में एक्यूज अंदर जेल सीबीआई बाबा राम रहीम मनोहर लाल खट्टर का पर्सनल व्यू के क्लैरिटी आनी चाहिए खट्टर साहब।
मैं बिल्कुल क्लियर हूं, जब तक मैं मुख्यमंत्री हूं तब तक मेरा कोई पर्सनल व्यू नहीं है।
करप्शन पे तो आप क्लियर थे।
करप्शन पर भी मुख्यमंत्री का ही जो विचार है वो ये है मेरा। जिस दिन मुझे अगर चेंज करने का कोई अवसर आएगा तो मुख्यमंत्री नहीं होगा तो चेंज करने की बात आएगी, करूंगा। नहीं करने की बात हो सकता है वो भी वही हो।
फोर्थ जनरेशन आपने बोला
जी,
फोर्थ जनरेशन वो जो सन्स,
वही तो मैं कह रहा था
आपके
कि
ग्रैंडफादर, आपके फादर, आप
जो मैं मिस कर गया 20 दिन, वो विजयंत ने पूरा कर दिया कारगिल की लड़ाई।
सर, कैप्टन विजयंत की क्या कहानी है? हमारे दर्शक ये जानना चाहेंगे। व्हाट इज हिज स्टोरी? लाइक ही वाज विद टू राजपूत सर?
ही वाज विद टू राजपूत, 2 राजपूताना राइफल्स में थे। उनकी कहानी मैंने इस किताब में लिख दी है, विजयंत एट कारगिल।
That India has changed when a gangster called Atiq Ahmed runs for cover. There is one particular phrase that Yogi Adityanath used today that has gone totally viral. Bhaglo ya bhaglo. Bhaglo, B-H-A-G, bhaglo, meaning participate in the process of development. Or bhaglo, which means run away. This is a no-nonsense approach. The law-abiding citizens of this country, fed up of the mafia, the corruption, the terrorism, the threat, and the pseudo-secular Soros approach, they have come to love the Yogi approach. Why do people who say that India must dismantle Hindutva, why do these people have a problem when you say dismantle the mafia Yogi style? They say he dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle the mafia. They say dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle their secular gangsters. They say dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle the weak negativity and corruption that people like Atiq Ahmed and gangster politicians have come to represent. Doesn't Atiq Ahmed, Mukhtar Ansari and a whole lot of this gangster scum, the fact that Yogi gets them groveling, doesn't it make you want to rejoice? And that's why I began by saying that you know that India has changed when gangsters scum like Atiq Ahmed run for cover.
अभी राजस्थान में मसला हुआ था भिवानी वाले में, उसमें वो जो मोनू मानेसर उसके साथी श्रीकांत पंडित है, उनकी धर्मपत्नी की पिटाई हुई, क्या क्या हुआ, बहुत सारी चीजें हुई। मामले में हरियाणा पुलिस की FIR के अलावा मतलब ये वो सारी चीजें हैं।
देखिए, एक इंडिविजुअल घटना को लेकर के परसेप्शन नहीं,
पर ये इतनी बड़ी बन जाती
बड़ी
है
सिचुएशन, घटना बड़ी है। मैं उसको इसकी घटना की निंदा करता हूँ मैं, लेकिन उसको ये कहें कि कोई लॉ एंड ऑर्डर खराब हो गया है, ऐसी स्थिति नहीं है।
पर ऐसा परसेप्शन बना दिया जाता है।
मैं कहता हूँ गलत बनाते हैं ना। आखिर तो हमने किसी दोषी को छोड़ा नहीं है।
माशरुकुद्दीन के घर पर अब बड़ी कार्रवाई हो रही है। हिस्ट्री शीटर बताया जा रहा है, फिनेंसर बताया जा रहा है, इस गांव का प्रधान भी है और कहा जा रहा है कि जो मकान मेरे पीछे आप देख रहे हैं, इसे नियमों को ताक पर रख कर बनाया गया। अब इसे गिराया जाएगा। उमेश पाल हत्याकांड में शरीक जो शूटर्स थे, उनको हथियार मुहैया कराना, उनको फंडिंग करने में ये शख्स शामिल था। देखिए, आलीशान 2 मंजिला ये मकान था जो माफिया ने बनाया था, जो गलत काम करके बनाया गया था, जिसकी फंडिंग गलत तरीके से हुई थी। अब उस मकान को विकास प्राधिकरण, प्रयागराज विकास प्राधिकरण गिरा रहा है।
सर, पहली लड़ाई कौन सी देखी आपने?
मैं 1962 में कमीशन हो गया।
और यू कमीशन आफ्टर द वॉर सर?
यस, लेकिन 65 में था। मेरा 65 का रोल तो बहुत जबरदस्त था। चीन के साथ मुठभेड़ हुआ था। एज ए मिलिट्री हिस्टोरियन समहाउ जो हमारा एक्शन है 1965 का, नाथुला, जयलपला, सेबुला, वो हिस्ट्री में
Manish Sisodia is to be produced in court today as his custody ends, the court to hear his bail plea. The Vadra Congress hurls elitist insult at the Prime Minister, says Rahul has standards to speak at Oxford while the Prime Minister has radio standards. As bribe gate hits Karnataka's BJP, its MLA goes absconding after the 8 crore crash recovery. The Congress party launches a protest against the BJP over bribe gate, calls for the Chief Minister's resignation. Assam's Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma slams Rahul Gandhi for his comment on Pulwama and attempting to defame India. Another temple is attacked in Australia. Anti-Hindu and Khalistani slogans are smeared on the temple walls. Thank you very much for staying with us on Republic TV. This is Live and Breaking. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri, and straight off to a story that we are tracking from the Congress party, which essentially has heaped another insult at the Prime Minister. The Congress leader has used the word haisiyat and said that Rahul Gandhi has the haisiyat to speak at Oxford while the Prime Minister has standards of speaking on radio, and it's limited to that. Let's listen into what he said.
तो राहुल गांधी जी ने कोई एक भी ऐसी बात नहीं की जो दुनिया को पता नहीं है, लेकिन मोदी जी ने ऐसी बात कही जो दुनिया को पता नहीं था। वो असली बदनामी वो है कि भारत में पैदा हुआ शर्म आती है, और यह कहना कि कांग्रेस भ्रष्ट है, या यह कहना कि 40 साल लग गए, 30 साल लग गए भारत को यहाँ पहुँचने का, बार बार भारत को बदनाम करने का काम मोदी जी ने ही किया। ऑक्सफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी में राहुल गांधी जी का स्टैंडर्ड है बोलने का, मोदी जी का स्टैंडर्ड रेडियो पर बोलने का है। और जबरदस्ती बीजेपी के कार्यकर्ताओं को कहते हैं सुनो, सुनाया जाता है, वरना रेडियो को सुनता भी नहीं कोई।
Well, Udit Raj, of course, slamming and the BJP over this. Now, this is not the first time, of course, that we've seen Udit Raj make comments like this one. In fact, he's a repeat offender. We have heard him make these sort of comments earlier as well. Now, this time, of course, targeting the Prime Minister, saying that the Prime Minister has standards of speaking on the radio, and that Rahul Gandhi, of course, has standards of speaking at Oxford, though it was at Cambridge essentially that he made those comments. So essentially looking at Oxbridge and saying that Rahul Gandhi has standards of speaking at Cambridge. Now do remember that Rahul Gandhi of course did attack systems in India, saying that there is pressure that is being applied on the opposition parties in the country. Thereafter, of course, we are seeing Udit Raj from the Congress party make another comment against the Prime Minister. This is not the first time, as I was earlier saying, where he has made comments like this one, which have generated controversy. This time, of course, taking on the Prime Minister and saying that the Prime Minister's public speaking perhaps is mostly on the radio. That is what he has said. We are still awaiting for a reaction to come into this, but this, of course, as I was saying earlier, is not the first time that Udit Raj has made comments like this. Well, let's once again listen into what he said.
तो राहुल गांधी जी ने कोई एक भी ऐसी बात नहीं की जो दुनिया को पता नहीं है, लेकिन मोदी जी ने ऐसी बात कही जो दुनिया को पता नहीं था। वो असली बदनामी वो है कि भारत में पैदा हुआ शर्म आती है, और यह कहना कि कांग्रेस भ्रष्ट है, या यह कहना कि 40 साल लग गए, 30 साल लग गए भारत को यहाँ पहुंचने का, बार बार भारत को बदनाम करने का काम मोदी जी ने ही किया। ऑक्सफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी में राहुल गांधी जी का स्टैंडर्ड है बोलने का, मोदी जी का स्टैंडर्ड रेडियो पर बोलने का है। वो जबरदस्ती बीजेपी के कार्यकर्ताओं को कहते हैं सुनो, सुनाया जाता है, वरना रेडियो को सुनता भी नहीं कोई।
Well, all right. So that comment coming in there from Udit Raj of the Congress party, essentially slamming the Modi government, also slamming the Prime Minister's radio broadcasts, which actually are quite popular across the country, and it has been spoken of as his address to the people of the country, and in a sense quite in tune with what most people are wanting to sort of hear in terms of a connection with the government. So in fact the Prime Minister's radio broadcasts have in the past been extremely popular, not just in urban areas but of course largely also in rural areas. That now coming in for criticism from Udit Raj of the Congress party, who has said that Prime Minister's Modi's standards are limiting to speaking on radio. Right, this of course comes after the Congress leader Rahul Gandhi's made certain remarks at Cambridge, where he was participating he was actually lecturing students. Now, the arrested former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia will be produced in court today as his custody ends. He has also applied for bail, and the hearing will be held today. In his bail application, he has submitted what he said has been his complete cooperation with the CBI. Now, he further said that no fruitful purpose will be served by him being in custody.
देखिए, जिस तरीके से केंद्र सरकार एजेंसीज का दुरुपयोग करके महीनों तक मंत्रियों को जेल में रखने का प्रयास कर रही है, ये बहुत ज़रूरी है कि कोर्ट में भी और जनता में भी ये मैसेज जाए कि सीबीआई और ईडी का दुरुपयोग जो है राजनीतिक दुश्मनी निकालने के लिए किया जा रहा है, और जितने भी लीगल फोरम्स पे हम ये बात रख सकते हैं वहाँ हम रखेंगे।
Well, let's go across to Madhurima right now, who's reporting from outside the Rouse Avenue Court in the national capital. Madhurima, give us a sense of how soon are we expecting Manish Sisodia to be presented before court. Now, the line that his legal team, of course, has taken is that he has cooperated whenever it was needed so by the CBI, and hence his custody needs to be evoked.
Well, absolutely, Nupur. The counsel from the side of the former Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia in the bail plea has asserted this fact indeed, that the former Deputy Chief Minister has abided by all the summons that have been made by the Central Bureau of Investigation and has always presented himself in front of the investigative agency. Also, they are asserting over the fact that it will not serve any purpose for the Central Bureau of Investigation to keep him in custody, because all the recoveries have already been made. The kind of investigation that was initially touted to be carried out is being carried out. So to keep him behind the custody will not serve any purpose, and he assures of the fact that like he has been abiding by all the summons made by the Central Bureau of Investigation, he is going to do that in the future. So today at the Rouse Avenue Court, we are expecting Manish Sisodia to be produced around 2 o'clock. We are bringing you these visuals. You can see that the barricading has already been done, Nupur, so as to make sure that the entire procedure goes hustle-free, because a lot of media frenzy also happens around this entire investigation, so as to make sure that the entire thing goes hustle-free. These preparations have been made. Remember, when Manish Sisodia had approached the Supreme Court, it had asserted that reach the competent court. So Manish Sisodia will be here at 2 p.m. seeking bail, and CBI will try to seek custody. Nupur.
All right, Madhurima, for the moment, thank you for joining us. We'll come back to you a bit later. Now, going on to what's happening in Karnataka right now, the Congress party, of course, is seizing the moment over there, and we are seeing anti-BJP protests in Bengaluru. The number of Congress workers, of course, seems to be growing by the hour, and Prajwal is reporting from there. Prajwal, we can see the number of protesters over there growing. So, in that sense, the Congress party not wanting to let go of an opportunity that really has just landed in their lap.
Absolutely. Now, we are also looking at live visuals of the protest now. We are also seeing the Women Congress unit who are coming in, along with the AICC General Secretary, Mr. Randeep Singh Surjewala as well. And we can hear, stating that they want the BJP government ousted from the state of Karnataka, with placards blaming, saying that the Bommai government is taking a 40% cut in this particular regard. We are also seeing the leader of opposition, Ramaya, who is coming in right here, and massive security here. They have blocked off the route which is leading towards the Chief Minister's residence now, and we are seeing that the numbers are only swelling, because just a few minutes ago there were only hundreds, but now it has gone on to around thousands of Congress cadres who are there, who are now being charged in by the police, who are pushing them away also. So all said and done, scenes are definitely ugly here, but the Congress is going on to maintain its stand, saying that this government should be ousted out, and we are also getting these visuals where the leader of the opposition is they are all being bundled into buses, and shortly they will be, and we are witnessing that the cops are resorting to a lathi charge here. We are seeing that the cops were also facing a lot of difficulty, but now additional platoons of security has been brought in. We are seeing, right there on our screens, we are seeing the Youth Congress workers clashing there with the cops, clashing with the cops, stating that they will want to go on, Gerau, the residence of Chief Minister Baswaraj Bommai there, but they're not being led through that protective cordon, which is on the other side, and moreover now, they're also demanding the arrest. They are demanding the arrest of the BJP MLA Madal Virupakshappa, because it's been over 48 hours since the cops have begun a search operation, but the MLA as of now is still absconding. We are looking at the cops going on clashing with the Congress supporters out here. So this is the state of affairs out here. We are seeing a sit-in protest now. The Congress does not want to budge. They have sat here on the roads, blocked the traffic. We are seeing Mr. Priyank Kharge, Mr. Randeep Singh Surjewala, Mr. Sidramaya, the leader of the opposition in the assembly. All of them, and even Ishwar Khandre is also present. And all of them are sitting there. They're saying that they will not budge from this particular spot until the MLA is found, until the MLA is arrested as well. And the cops are definitely finding it difficult. They are finding it difficult to, in fact, even manage this crowd. Additional forces are being brought in now by the cops, trying to go on maintain the security and making sure that they do not pass this particular barricade which has been put in here. Now all the police officials gathering, initially they started requesting the leaders, but you can see that the pushing and pulling and it has finally started here. So this is the cops trying to reason out with them, but we are seeing that all of them are being pushed back. The media is also being pushed back now, and the cops are facing, in fact, my video journalist is right there in the thick of things, getting us those visuals, where they are being pushed off from the melee, saying only the leaders will be allowed to sit in here. So these are the sort of visuals that are being witnessed on the screens. Even as security is being tightened across the other side near Chief Minister Baswaraj Bommai's residence as well. And all these Congress leaders engaging in a war of words. You can look at these visuals over here. The police are trying to move out these Congress workers who are engaged in a sit-in protest as well, and they are reasoning it out, saying that they will have to use force if these workers do not listen out to them as well. But the primary demand mainly remains the fact that Madal Virupakshappa should be arrested immediately, and his resignation, he should also tender a resignation, and there should be a political emergency which should be declared in the state of Karnataka. So these are the visuals now. We are seeing that all these Congress workers, we are seeing Mr. Bhairathi Suresh being bundled off in this bus here. The Congress leader. We are also seeing Mr. Priyank Kharge, who's also being taken in by the police. They're being escorted, they're being taken in, and they're being bundled inside the bus as well. We'll try to quickly go in, get in a reaction from them. But all the leaders taken off now finally, and shortly we will be getting in reactions from those leaders who have been detained. Now we're looking at Congress leaders who are being detained here. Sadanand, if you could just pan across here, let's quickly go across and catch in a word from these leaders as well. Sir, what are your demands?
Down! Basta BJP sarkar rake! Down!
That was Mr. Bhairathi Suresh over there calling out slogans against the BJP here, and they are being bundled off in the police bus itself. We are looking at these visuals where Congress workers are being picked off, they are being lifted, they are being thrown away from the residence of Mr. Baswaraj Bommai, the Chief Minister. Hardly around 700 meters is the Chief Minister's residence, even as thousands of Congress workers go to throng in large numbers trying to get out the Chief Minister's residence, trying to put their points across. We are also seeing women Congress workers too who are being taken off by the police officials as well. But all said and done, it definitely seems to be quite a tricky scenario out there as leaders are being taken off even as we are speaking on our screens.
As you catch your breath over there, Prajwal, just to tell our viewers, pictures on our screens are of Bengaluru, where Congress workers are protesting in large numbers. I'm going to go back across to Prajwal now.
From Bengaluru, from across Karnataka, have come in here, are being taken off, being taken off in the bus. We are seeing senior Congress leaders who are being taken away, who are being bundled off here inside this bus as well. And this clearly goes on. Let's just give them way. We are seeing Mr. Ramlinga Reddy also being taken in by the cops, the BTM layout Congress MLA. We are seeing Mr. Priyank Kharge. We are seeing Sidramaya and Randeep Singh Surjewala as well coming in. So all said and done, all the Congress leaders are being bundled off. So this
this clearly goes on and shows the fact that more and more people coming out in large numbers, and this is something that needs to be seen here. Even as a huge ruckus has broken out, a huge ruckus has broken out, and this is something which needs to be seen now, because even now they are saying that Mr. Sidramaya as well as Mr. Randeep Singh Surjewala are still going on maintaining the fact that they will stay here because their demands are they have put their demands across. They're saying that because that it has been engaged in this in this corruption. We are seeing the AICC General Secretary, the Karnataka in charge for the Congress in the state, Mr. Randeep Singh Surjewala being taken in now. We are seeing we'll try to go and get in a word. We are seeing leader of opposition as well. We are seeing women Congress cadres being taken away. So this shows that the Congress here in Karnataka means business. They are saying no matter what, we will not budge, and we stick to our demands. We are clear in our demands, and we want the resignation. We want the resignation of Madal Virupakshappa. We want the Bomai's government to be ousted in the state. We are seeing that more and more Congress workers are being pulled down. It is almost like a stampede scenario out here. Almost like a stampede scenario out here where people are pushing, people are trying to go on, corner everybody. The cops are definitely trying to find it difficult to manage the crowd here, and more and more number of people coming out in large numbers. We are having Mr. Sidramaya on the screens there saying that the BJP in Karnataka should come down and the people should go on. And we have Mr. Randeep Singh Surjewala. You have put your demands across. What do you have to say, sir?
This is police brutality. This government has to go. The corrupt brush Janata Party has to go.
That was Mr. Randeep Singh Surjewala there reacting to us, saying that the corrupt BJP government, he's alleging that the corrupt BJP government in the state of Karnataka should go. So these are the visuals that we are getting, even as the cops are trying to send away all these protesters away. But it's quite a massive protest. Majority of these Congress workers have been taken in. Majority of these Congress leaders have been taken in. They have been bundled off. Even as we are seeing these women Congress workers who are being moved away. The cops are having a difficult time, but then we're seeing that the women Congress cadres are being taken off, bundled off in BMTC buses too. So these are some of the visuals which are coming in. More and more leaders spilling onto the streets of Bengaluru, and now we will have to go on see as to what is the next sort of action here. Look at the cops here. Look at the cops rushing in all the leaders. All the leaders are being taken away. Majority of the Bengaluru MLAs are present in this bus, which we are focusing right now on. We are seeing Mr. KJ George, leader of opposition, Sidramaya, Ramlinga Reddy, Bhairathi Suresh, Priya Krishna, and all the other leaders who have been taken off. We're also having Mr. Ishwar Kandre from the Congress. Sir, what do you have to say? Your primary demand now, because we're seeing that thousands of people have come in here, thousands of reporters. Your main demand?
There is anger all over Karnataka. The way corruption is going on. Earlier we had made allegations that there is 40% commission in Karnataka. Now the Chief Minister said that you show us the evidence. Now there is evidence.
Okay, so it's
crores of rupees in MLA's house.
It's been 48 hours. The MLA has not been arrested. 48 hours he's absconding. What do you have to say?
Strongly demand that the MLA should be arrested, and also we strongly demand that the government should resign on moral grounds immediately. President's rule should be promulgated and election should be held.
Lokayukta, is it being given a free hand out here in Karnataka?
It's very difficult to say. This is just a tip of the iceberg. Everywhere in each and every department, there is corruption. Without corruption, no file moves. This is the fact.
Thank you, sir. So that was Mr. Ishwar Khandre clearly going on, the KPCC working secretary speaking exclusively to Republic, stating that there is corruption. The government in Karnataka is mired knee deep in corruption, and therefore it's going out to be a massive challenge out there for the BJP to come out unblemished from this, because right now the political ramifications are such that here in Karnataka, where the people are demanding that there should be someone who should be fielded with a clean image, and that is something which the BJP needs to put it right. Whether they will be further going on giving a ticket to either Madal Virupakshappa or one of his relatives, that is something which only time will have to go on and answer. Back to you in the studios.
All right, so Prajwal over there bringing us the latest in terms of the protest that is taking place in Bengaluru. Large number of those Congress leaders being bundled away by the police from the protest site. Now, earlier this morning, of course, we saw these Congress leaders congregating outside the Congress office in the Congress Bhavan, rather, in Bengaluru. The plan was to march to the Chief Minister's residence, but in between it appears that the police has cracked down and taken away some of those protesters. But a huge face-off essentially brewing in Karnataka right ahead of the assembly elections over there. The BJP under a cloud with allegations of corruption right at its doorstep. It's one of its leaders' sons was arrested with 40 lakh rupees of bribe being accepted by the Lokayukta. After that, of course, seizures made seem to suggest that about 8 crore rupees in cash was found at the MLA's home. Thereafter, we have seen action against the MLA's son, who has been arrested. However, the MLA himself still remains absconding. Now, questions being raised about the BJP government over there. The Congress says that there is corruption and that the whole government is knee-deep in corruption. You're watching Republic TV, and Bulldozer action continues. Mukhtar Ansari's son's properties are now razed. And another temple is attacked in Australia. Anti-Hindu and Khalistani slogans are smeared on the temple walls.
फोर जनरेशन आपने बोला जी, 4 जनरेशन वो जो सन्स, वही तो मैं कह रहा था। आपके ग्रैंडफादर, आपके फादर, आप जो मैं मिस कर गया 20 दिन, वो विजयंत ने पूरा कर दिया कारगिल के लड़ाई। सर, कैप्टन विजयंत की क्या कहानी है? हमारे दर्शक ये जानना चाहेंगे, व्हाट इज हिज स्टोरी? लाइक ही वाज विद 2 राजरव सर? ही वाज विद 2 राजरव, 2 राजपूताना राइफल्स में थे। उनकी कहानी मैंने इस किताब में लिख दी है, विजयंत एट कारगिल।
मैं आपका पर्सनल व्यू जानना चाहता हूं। रेप के चार्ज में एक्यूज अंदर जेल, सीबीआई, बाबा राम रहीम, मनोहर लाल खट्टर का पर्सनल व्यू क्या? क्लैरिटी आनी चाहिए खट्टर साहब।
मैं बिल्कुल क्लियर हूं, जब तक मैं मुख्यमंत्री हूं तब तक मेरा कोई पर्सनल व्यू नहीं है।
करप्शन पे तो आप क्लियर थे।
करप्शन पर भी मुख्यमंत्री का ही जो विचार है वो ये है मेरा। जिस दिन मुझे अगर चेंज करने का कोई अवसर आएगा तो मुख्यमंत्री नहीं होगा तो चेंज करने की बात आएगी, करूंगा। नहीं करने की बात हो सकता है वो भी वही हो।
माशरुकुद्दीन के घर पर अब बड़ी कार्रवाई हो रही है। हिस्ट्री शीटर बताया जा रहा है, फिनेंसर बताया जा रहा है, इस गांव का प्रधान भी है, और कहा जा रहा है कि जो मकान मेरे पीछे आप देख रहे हैं, इसे नियमों को ताक पर रख कर बनाया गया, अब इसे गिराया जाएगा। उमेश पाल हत्याकांड में शरीक जो शूटर्स थे, उनको हथियार मुहैया कराना, उनको फंडिंग करने में ये शख्स शामिल था। देखिए, आलीशान 2 मंजिला ये मकान था जो माफिया ने बनाया था, जो गलत काम करके बनाया गया था, जिसकी फंडिंग गलत तरीके से हुई थी। अब उस मकान को विकास प्राधिकरण, प्रयागराज विकास प्राधिकरण गिरा रहा है।
That India has changed when a gangster called Atiq Ahmed runs for cover. There is one particular phrase that Yogi Adityanath used today that has gone totally viral. Bhaglo ya bhaglo. Bhaglo, B-H-A-G, bhaglo, meaning participate in the process of development. Or bhaglo, which means run away. This is a no-nonsense approach. The law-abiding citizens of this country, fed up of the mafia, the corruption, the terrorism, the threat, and the pseudo-secular Soros approach, they have come to love the Yogi approach. Why do people who say that India must dismantle Hindutva, why do these people have a problem when you say dismantle the mafia Yogi style? They say he dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle the mafia. They say dismantle Hindutva. I say dismantle their secular gangsters. They say dismantle Hindutva. I say dismantle the weak negativity and corruption that people like Atiq Ahmed and gangster politicians have come to represent. Doesn't Atiq Ahmed, Mukhtar Ansari and a whole lot of these gangsters?
मैं आपका पर्सनल व्यू जानना चाहता हूँ। रेप के चार्ज में एक्यूज अंदर जेल सीबीआई बाबा राम रहीम मनोहर लाल खट्टर का पर्सनल व्यू के क्लैरिटी आनी चाहिए खट्टर साहब।
मैं बिल्कुल क्लियर हूं, जब तक मैं मुख्यमंत्री हूं तब तक मेरा कोई पर्सनल व्यू नहीं है।
करप्शन पे तो आप क्लियर थे।
करप्शन पर भी मुख्यमंत्री का ही जो विचार है वो ही है मेरा। जिस दिन मुझे अगर चेंज करने का कोई अवसर आएगा तो मुख्यमंत्री नहीं होगा तो चेंज करने की बात आएगी, करूंगा। नहीं करने की बात हो सकता वो भी वही हो।
And a quick recap of the top headlines at 11:30 this morning. Manish Sisodia is to be produced in court today as his custody ends the court to hear his bail application. The Congress party hurls an elitist insult on the Prime Minister, says Rahul has standards to speak at Oxford while the Prime Minister has radio standards. As bribe gate hits Karnataka, BJP, its MLAs go absconding after the 8 crore cash recovery. The Congress party launches a protest against the BJP over bribe gate. Protesting Congress leaders are detained. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma slams Rahul Gandhi for his comment on Pulwama and attempting to defame India. And another temple is attacked in Australia. Anti-Hindu and Khalistani slogans are smeared on the temple's walls. Now, after the Lokayukta recovered about 8 crore rupees in cash from the BJP MLA's son that were allegedly taken as a bribe, the BJP MLA has gone missing. The Congress has launched protest and has tried marching to the Chief Minister's residence, but the march was stalled and the Congress leaders were then detained. So pictures on your screen are coming to you from Bengaluru, where a large number of Congress leaders hit the streets. There you can see senior Congress leaders sitting over there in protest. Now, the plan essentially was for them to march to the Chief Minister's residence, but the police swooped in between and has now detained several of these senior Congress leaders. Prajwal is bringing us the latest from Bengaluru and he joins us on the broadcast now. Prajwal, give us an overview of what has been happening so far.
Now, so far, what we get to understand is that these Congress cadres, workers, along with their leaders, majority of the Congress MLAs in Bengaluru, and also with the General Secretary Randeep Singh Surjewala, came out in large numbers and wanted to go on to Gerau, the residence of Chief Minister Baswaraj Bommai on Racecourse Road. But that was not possible because majority of these Congress leaders were bundled off in the buses by the cops as well. To just give you an overview of the entire scenario as to how these roads go on and look like, we're still seeing huge deployment of security here. We're seeing the DCPs who are present along with the circle inspectors and the sub-inspectors too, who have cleared out the first set of Congress workers, because initially it was expected that there would only be around 100 to 115 number, but the sheer numbers swelled even by the minute as Sidramaya, that was the leader of the opposition, started speaking. But now we are finally seeing that smooth flow of traffic has started resuming on these roads, but the police do not want to take any sort of risk, and they have still kept forces on a standby there to ensure that they will not come out in larger numbers, because all these the remaining Congress workers, over 300 to 400 in number, were sent off to the Congress Bhavan out here, just 1 to 1.5 kilometers away from the Chief Minister's residence as well. So the sort of security arrangements we are seeing in place is quite tight. We saw around Congress workers bundled out in over 7 buses along with the leaders as well, which shows that more and more people were gathering even as they spoke. But finally now the DCPs from across two zones came in now and intervened at the right time and made sure that there will be no sort of untoward incident which will be reported to. And as of now, the scenario is completely normal now. The cops have taken complete control and we are seeing that there is a smooth movement of traffic and there is absolutely no sort of problem anymore. Even as we saw the female cops, the female police personnel too, trying to go on and make sure that the women Congress cadres do not get on the roads and pose an ugly problem out there for them too. So all said and done, it's quite normal out here. But when we also spoke to the AICC General Secretary Randeep Singh Surjewala, he clearly went on and mentioned the fact that the MLA should immediately be caught and be put behind bars because this is a non-bailable warrant as of now which has been issued against him. So why is the government waiting and not nabbing him is something which they are repeatedly questioning.
Now, Prajwal, the BJP government's defense and the Chief Minister Bommai's defense so far has been that we have managed to act very swiftly, and it was the Lokayukta which actually was able to uncover this huge amount of corruption. But on the other side, questions are being raised as to how this corruption actually took place, and was it a one-off case or was the MLA involved earlier as well? And also, in terms of the timing, Prajwal, it comes even as the BJP is organizing this huge yatra across, Karnataka, which essentially has the slogan of being anti-corruption.
Yes, because the Union Home Minister Amit Shah clearly went on and mentioned the fact that this Vijay Sankalpa Yatra, they want to give clean and transparent administration which is corruption free. There should absolutely be no sort of problem in those regard. This is what was mentioned by the Union Home Minister. But secondly, now the BJP are caught in a fix when it comes to this particular case, because this is not one of such cases here that we are seeing. We are speaking about cases around 10 to 12 cases which are already there, because now there has been a dairy which has been seized from the residence of Madal Prashant, who is one of the key accused in this particular case, and it also mentions the names of certain officers who had also received cut money from him through this deal directly or indirectly as well. So this not pertain to one case, and it pertains to several cases as well, because the amount of money which has been seized is around 8 crores 12 lakhs and 30,000 rupees, meaning to say that cut money of around 10 particular cases had been collected by Madal Virupakshappa via his son. So these are these allegations which has been made now. So which are these cases is something which is under scrutiny. Also the materialistic evidence over here is also something which the Lokayukta is keenly looking in, because there were several land properties relating to flats which had been taken, commercial complexes, areca nut plantations, not only in Bengaluru but also across the entire state of Karnataka, particularly in Davangere as well as Holalkere as well. So all said and done, now when we are looking at how things are going on here, the BJP is definitely mired in a lot of controversy in the state of Karnataka, with the Congress demanding that a political emergency should be declared immediately and elections also should be declared.
All right, Prajwal, do stay with us. Let's also play out reactions right now of Congress leaders who were part of that protest. Senior Congress leaders, of course, have now been taken away by the Karnataka police after they were attempting to storm the Chief Minister's residence.
और पिछले 48 घंटे में जो हुआ, पिछले 24 घंटे में हुआ, होम मिनिस्टर अमित शाह जी कहते थे, बसवराज बोम्मई जी कहते थे सबूत दीजिए। हमें सबूत देने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ी। बसवराज बोम्मई जी, आपने और आपकी पार्टी के नेताओं ने, आपके विधायकों ने तो चंदन की वो साबुन, मैसूर सैंडल सोप जिसके लिए हम मशहूर हैं, उसकी सुगंध को भी भ्रष्टाचार की दलदल में फेंक दिया है। लानत है आपके ऊपर, शर्म आनी चाहिए। चुल्लू भर पानी में डूब मर जाना चाहिए आप लोगों को। 40 लाख रुपया के साथ रंगे हाथों भाजपा के चेयरमैन, उनके विधायक का बेटा उनके कार्यालय में पकड़ा जाता और भाजपा के लोग कहते हैं बच्चे से गलती हो गई।
Now moving on, the US has announced a new $400 military aid package for Ukraine that for the first time includes armored vehicles that can launch bridges allowing troops to cross rivers or other gaps as Russian and Ukrainian forces remain entrenched on opposite sides of the Dnieper River.
As the Russia-Ukraine war intensifies,
today, the Biden-Harris administration is announcing its 33rd security assistance package for Ukraine using presidential drawdown authorities as we continue to surge weapons and equipment that Ukraine needs to defend itself against Russian aggression. This package includes more ammunition for U.S.-provided HIMARS and howitzers that Ukraine is using so effectively to defend itself, as well as ammunition for Bradley infantry fighting vehicles, armored vehicle launch bridges, and demolition munitions and equipment. The United States will continue to rally the world to support Ukraine.
the White House announces its 33rd military aid for Ukraine. The announcement that came just a week after a one-year anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine would be allowing Congress to nullify the city's laws for the first time in more than 3 decades. Agency report, Republic TV.
And coming up next, Assam's Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma slams Rahul Gandhi for his comment on Pulwama and attempting to defame China. And another temple is attacked in Australia. Anti-Hindu and Khalistani slogans are smeared on the temple walls.
फोर्थ जनरेशन आपने बोला जी, फोर्थ जनरेशन वो जो सन्स, वही तो मैं कह रहा था कि ग्रैंडफादर, आपके फादर, आप जो मैं मिस कर गया 20 दिन, वो विजयंत ने पूरा कर दिया कारगिल की लड़ाई। सर, कैप्टन विजयंत की क्या कहानी है हमारे दर्शक ये जानना चाहेंगे। व्हाट इज हिज स्टोरी? लाइक ही वाज विद 2 राजरीव सर, ही वाज विद 2 राजरीव, 2 राजपूताना राइफल्स में थे। उनकी कहानी मैंने इस किताब में लिख दी है, विजयंत एट कारगिल।
मैं आपका पर्सनल व्यू जानना चाहता हूं। रेप के चार्ज में एक्यूज अंदर जेल, सीबीआई, बाबा राम रहीम, मनोहर लाल खट्टर का पर्सनल व्यू के क्लैरिटी आनी चाहिए खट्टर साहब।
मैं बिल्कुल क्लियर हूं, जब तक मैं मुख्यमंत्री हूं तब तक मेरा कोई पर्सनल व्यू नहीं है।
करप्शन पे तो आप क्लियर थे।
करप्शन पर भी मुख्यमंत्री का ही जो विचार है वो ये है मेरा। जिस दिन मुझे अगर चेंज करने का कोई अवसर आएगा तो मुख्यमंत्री नहीं होगा तो चेंज करने की बात आएगी, करूंगा। नहीं करने की बात हो सकता है वो भी हो।
माशरुकुद्दीन के घर पर अब बड़ी कार्रवाई हो रही है। हिस्ट्री शीटर बताया जा रहा है, फाइनेंसर बताया जा रहा है, इस गांव का प्रधान भी है और कहा जा रहा है कि ये जो मकान मेरे पीछे आप देख रहे हैं इसे नियमों को ताक पर रख कर बनाया गया, अब इसे गिराया जाएगा। उमेश पाल हत्याकांड में शरीक जो शूटर्स थे उनको हथियार मुहैया कराना, उनको फंडिंग करने में ये शख्स शामिल था। देखिए, आलीशान 2 मंजिला ये मकान था जो माफिया ने बनाया था, जो गलत काम करके बनाया गया था, जिसकी फंडिंग गलत तरीके से हुई थी। अब उस मकान को विकास प्राधिकरण, प्रयागराज विकास प्राधिकरण गिरा रहा है।
अभी राजस्थान में मसला हुआ था भिवानी वाले में, उसमें वो जो मोनू मानेसर, उसके साथ ही श्रीकांत पंडित है, उनकी धर्मपत्नी की पिटाई हुई, क्या क्या हुआ, बहुत सारी चीजें हुई। मामले में हरियाणा पुलिस की FIR के अलावा मतलब ये वो सारी चीजें हैं।
देखिए, एक इंडिविजुअल घटना को लेकर के परसेप्शन नहीं,
पर ये इतनी बड़ी बन जाती है सिचुएशन,
घटना बड़ी है। मैं उसको इसकी घटना की निंदा करता हूँ मैं, लेकिन उसको ये कहें कि कोई लॉ एंड ऑर्डर खराब हो गया है, ऐसी स्थिति नहीं है।
पर ऐसा परसेप्शन बना दिया जाता है।
मैं कहता हूँ गलत बनाते हैं ना। आखिर तो हमने किसी दोषी को छोड़ा नहीं है।
फोर्थ जनरेशन आपने बोला जी, फोर्थ जनरेशन वो जो सन्स, वही तो मैं कह रहा था कि ग्रैंडफादर, आपके फादर, आप जो मैं मिस कर गया 20 दिन, वो विजयंत ने पूरा कर दिया कारगिल की लड़ाई। सर, कैप्टन विजयंत की क्या कहानी है हमारे दर्शक ये जानना चाहेंगे। व्हाट इज हिज स्टोरी? लाइक ही वाज विद 2 राजरीव सर, सर पहली लड़ाई कौन सी देखी आपने?
मैं 1962 में कमीशन हो गया।
यू कमीशन आफ्टर द वॉर सर?
यस, लेकिन 65 में था। मेरा 65 का रोल तो बहुत जबरदस्त था। चीन के साथ मुठभेड़ हुआ था एज ए मिलिट्री हिस्टोरियन। समहाउ जो हमारा एक्शन है 1965 का, नाथुला, जेलपला, सेबुला, वो हिस्ट्री में अपीयर ही नहीं। 4 पैरा थी हमारे साथ, उनको भी डेकोरेशन मिली और हमारी कैजुअलिटीज भी हुई हैं। लेकिन वो कैसे स्किप कर दिया, क्यों स्किप कर दिया, द नेशन डजंट नो।
Top international news this morning. India used its right to reply at the UNHRC to respond to Pakistan on issues of religious minorities and terrorism. India's representative Seema Pujani slammed her Pakistani counterpart Hina Rabbani Khar and said that the Ahmadiyya community continues to be persecuted by the state for simply practicing their faith.
Pakistan's policies are directly responsible for the death of thousands of civilians around the world. Pakistan's obsession with India, while its population battle for their lives, livelihood and freedom, is an indication of the state's misplaced priorities. I would advise its leadership and officials to focus their energies on working for the benefit of their own population instead of baseless propaganda.
In a speech addressing the Conservative Political Action Conference, the top annual event of the Republican Party and its support base, the Indian-American Nikki Haley has continued with her focus on America's foreign policy, where she said that Communist China is the strongest and most disciplined enemy that the US has ever faced.
Some of them even support terrorists that try and kill our troops. To this day, we're giving foreign aid to Pakistan, Iraq, the Palestinians, and even communist Cuba and China. We need to stop trying to buy friends, and all we're doing is paying off our enemies. When I'm president, we will stop giving money to countries that hate America. China thinks the American era has passed. So do our enemies. But they're wrong. America is not past our prime. It's just that our politicians are past theirs.
Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has sought 75 million Pakistani rupees or 16% additional budget for allowances, fuel and food rather than placing a cut on expenses. Now, the decision of the Prime Minister comes in violation of its own national austerity policy. The US has announced a new $400 million military aid package to Ukraine for the first time. It includes armored vehicles that can launch bridges. This will allow for troops to cross rivers or other gaps as Russian and Ukrainian forces remain entrenched on opposite sides of the Dnieper River. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has called for rapid establishment of a special tribunal in response to Russian aggression against Ukraine. Speaking at the United for Justice conference in Lviv, Zelensky said that an international criminal court office would be opening in Ukraine, which he called a great event for justice. Vivek Ramaswamy spelled out the reason for his candidacy after entering the Republican race for president. Ramaswamy spoke at the CPAC gathering of conservatives outside Washington, D.C. The 37-year-old formally launched his long-shot bid at the presidency by decrying what he called a national identity crisis. He said that his candidacy is driven by a left-wing ideology that has replaced faith, patriotism and hard work with new secular religions like COVIDism, climatism and gender ideology. The United States of America has pledged about $6 billion in funding for the fight against climate change and protection of oceans during the 8th Our Ocean Conference in Panama. Now, the financial support covers action on issues addressed during the conference, such as sustainable fisheries, protected marine areas, and safety and pollution of oceans. Ecuadorian authorities have standardized a method to destroy drugs which allows them to keep up with recent increase in seizures. The load destroyed is part of a record seizure made of almost 9 tons of cocaine found in a banana container bound for Belgium worth about $330 million. You are watching Republic TV. We step into a very short break. On the other side, we bring you more news, including the bulldozer action that is continuing in Uttar Pradesh. Mukhtar Ansari's son's properties likely to be razed. And another temple is attacked in Australia. Anti-Hindu and Khalistani slogans are smeared on the temple walls.
पहली लड़ाई कौन सी देखी आपने?
मैं 1962 में कमीशन हो गया।
और यू कमीशन आफ्टर द वॉर सर?
यस, लेकिन 65 में था। मेरा 65 का रोल तो बहुत जबरदस्त था। चीन के साथ मुठभेड़ हुआ था। एज ए मिलिट्री हिस्टोरियन समहाउ जो हमारा एक्शन है 1965 का नाथुला, जेलपला, सेबुला, वो हिस्ट्री में अपीयर ही नहीं। 4 पैरा थी हमारे साथ, उनको भी डेकोरेशन मिली और हमारी कैजुअलिटीज भी हुई हैं। लेकिन वो कैसे स्किप कर दिया, क्यों स्किप कर दिया, द नेशन डजंट नो।
That India has changed when a gangster called Atiq Ahmed runs for cover. There is one particular phrase that Yogi Adityanath used today that has gone totally viral. Bhaglo ya bhaglo. Bhaglo, B-H-A-G, bhaglo meaning participate in the process of development. Or bhaglo, which means run away. This is a no-nonsense approach. The law-abiding citizens of this country, fed up of the mafia, the corruption, the terrorism, the threat, and the pseudo-secular Soros approach, they have come to love the Yogi approach. Why do people who say that India must dismantle Hindutva, why do these people have a problem when you say dismantle the mafia Yogi style? They say he dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle the mafia. They say dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle their secular gangsters. They say dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle the weak negativity and corruption that people like Atiq Ahmed and gangster politicians have come to represent. Doesn't Atiq Ahmed, Mukhtar Ansari and a whole lot of this gangster scum, the fact that Yogi gets them groveling, doesn't it make you want to rejoice? And that's why I began by saying that you know that India has changed when gangster scum like Atiq Ahmed run for cover.
अभी राजस्थान में मसला हुआ था भिवानी वाले में, उसमें वो जो मोनू मानेसर उसके साथी श्रीकांत पंडित है, उनकी धर्मपत्नी की पिटाई हुई, क्या क्या हुआ, बहुत सारी चीजें हुई। मामले में हरियाणा पुलिस की FIR के अलावा मतलब ये वो सारी चीजें हैं।
देखिए, एक इंडिविजुअल घटना को लेकर के परसेप्शन नहीं,
पर ये इतनी बड़ी बन जाती है सिचुएशन,
घटना बड़ी है। मैं उसको इसकी घटना की निंदा करता हूँ मैं, लेकिन उसको ये कहें कि कोई लॉ एंड ऑर्डर खराब हो गया है, ऐसी स्थिति नहीं है।
पर ऐसा परसेप्शन बना दिया जाता है।
मैं कहता हूँ गलत बनाते हैं ना। आखिर तो हमने किसी दोषी को छोड़ा नहीं है।
4 जनरेशन आपने बोला जी, 4 जनरेशन वो जो सन्स, वही तो मैं कह रहा था कि ग्रैंडफादर, आपके फादर, आप जो मैं मिस कर गया 20 दिन, वो विजयंत ने पूरा कर दिया कारगिल के लड़ाई। सर, कैप्टन विजयंत की क्या कहानी है, हमारे दर्शक ये जानना चाहेंगे। व्हाट इज हिज स्टोरी? लाइक ही वाज विद 2 राजपूत सर? ही वाज विद 2 राजपूत, 2 राजपूताना राइफल्स में थे। उनकी कहानी मैंने इस किताब में लिख।
Welcome back. You're watching Republic TV. Now, arrested former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia will be back in court today. His lawyers, of course, are moving for bail.
Former Deputy Chief Minister of the National Capital, Manish Sisodia, will be produced before the Rouse Avenue Court today by the Central Bureau of Investigation as the custody of 5 days that was awarded by the court ends today. It's highly likely that the CBI will be seeking for more remand. Also, at the same time, Manish Sisodia has applied for a bail. In his bail plea, he has asserted that he has joined the probe every time called by the Central Bureau of Investigation, and that there is no point in keeping him in the custody as all the recoveries have been made, and that he is ready to adhere by any summons or calls called by the Central Bureau of Investigation. This entire investigation is happening in the alleged excise policy scam, where it was alleged that a haste was made by the former Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia to pass this new excise excise policy, which allegedly led into kickbacks, scams, and corruption. This is Madhurima Mishra with Vijay Surinder Shah for Republic TV.
You're watching Republic TV, and on the other side, Assam's Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma targets Rahul Gandhi over his comments. And another temple is attacked in Australia. Anti-Hindu and Khalistani slogans are smeared on the walls.
अभी राजस्थान में मसला हुआ था भिवानी वाले में, उसमें वो जो मोनू मानेसर उसके साथी श्रीकांत पंडित है, उनकी धर्मपत्नी की पिटाई हुई, क्या क्या हुआ, बहुत सारी चीजें हुई। मामले में हरियाणा पुलिस की एफआईआर के अलावा मतलब ये वो सारी चीजें हैं।
देखिए, एक इंडिविजुअल घटना को लेकर के परसेप्शन नहीं,
पर ये इतनी बड़ी बन जाती है सिचुएशन,
घटना बड़ी है। मैं उसको इसकी घटना की निंदा करता हूँ मैं, लेकिन उसको ये कहें कि कोई लॉ एंड ऑर्डर खराब हो गया है, ऐसी स्थिति नहीं है।
पर ऐसा परसेप्शन बना दिया जाता है।
मैं कहता हूँ गलत बनाते हैं ना। आखिर तो हमने किसी दोषी को छोड़ा नहीं है।
माशरुकुद्दीन के घर पर अब बड़ी कार्रवाई हो रही है। हिस्ट्री शीटर बताया जा रहा है, फिनेंसर बताया जा रहा है, इस गांव का प्रधान भी है, और कहा जा रहा है कि ये जो मकान मेरे पीछे आप देख रहे हैं, इसे नियमों को ताक पर रख कर बनाया गया। अब इसे गिराया जाएगा। उमेश पाल हत्याकांड में शरीक जो शूटर्स थे, उनको हथियार मुहैया कराना, उनको फंडिंग करने में ये शख्स शामिल था। देखिए, आलीशान 2 मंजिला ये मकान था जो माफिया ने बनाया था, जो गलत काम करके बनाया गया था, जिसकी फंडिंग गलत तरीके से हुई थी। अब उस मकान को विकास प्राधिकरण, प्रयागराज विकास प्राधिकरण गिरा रहा है।
पहली लड़ाई कौन सी देखी आपने?
मैं 1962 में कमीशन हो गया।
और यू कमीशन आफ्टर द वॉर सर?
यस, लेकिन 65 में था। मेरा 65 का रोल तो बहुत जबरदस्त था। चीन के साथ मुठभेड़ हुआ था एज ए मिलिट्री हिस्टोरियन। समहाउ जो हमारा एक्शन है 1965 का, नाथुला, जेलपला, सेबुला, वो हिस्ट्री में अपीयर ही नहीं। 4 पैरा थी हमारे साथ, उनको भी डेकोरेशन मिली और हमारी कैजुअलिटीज भी हुई हैं, लेकिन वो कैसे स्किप कर दिया, क्यों स्किप कर दिया, द नेशन डजंट नो।
That India has changed when a gangster called Atiq Ahmed runs for cover. There is one particular phrase that Yogi Adityanath used today that has gone totally viral. Bhaglo ya bhaglo. Bhaglo, B-H-A-G, bhaglo meaning participate in the process of development. Or bhaglo, which means run away. This is a no-nonsense approach. The law-abiding citizens of this country, fed up of the mafia, the corruption, the terrorism, the threat, and the pseudo-secular Soros approach, they have come to love the Yogi approach. Why do people who say that India must dismantle Hindutva, why do these people have a problem when you say dismantle the mafia Yogi style? They say he dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle the mafia. They say dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle their secular gangsters. They say dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle the weak negativity and corruption that people like Atiq Ahmed and gangster politicians have come to represent. Doesn't Atiq Ahmed, Mukhtar Ansari and a whole lot of this gangster scum, the fact that Yogi gets them groveling, doesn't it make you want to rejoice? And that's why I began by saying that you know that India has changed when gangsters scum like Atiq Ahmed run for cover.
अभी राजस्थान में मसला हुआ था भिवानी वाले में, उसमें वो जो मोनू मानेसर उसके साथी श्रीकांत पंडित है, उनकी धर्मपत्नी की पिटाई हुई, क्या क्या हुआ, बहुत सारी चीजें हुई। मामले में हरियाणा पुलिस की एफआईआर के अलावा मतलब ये वो सारी चीजें हैं।
देखिए, एक इंडिविजुअल घटना को लेकर के परसेप्शन नहीं,
पर ये इतनी बड़ी बन जाती है सिचुएशन,
घटना बड़ी है। मैं उसको इसकी घटना की निंदा करता हूँ मैं, लेकिन उसको ये कहें कि कोई लॉ एंड ऑर्डर खराब हो गया है, ऐसी स्थिति नहीं है।
पर ऐसा परसेप्शन बना दिया जाता है।
मैं कहता हूँ गलत बनाते हैं ना। आखिर तो हमने किसी दोषी को छोड़ा नहीं है।
फोर्थ जनरेशन आपने बोला जी, 4th जनरेशन वो जो सन, वही तो मैं कह रहा था कि ग्रैंडफादर, आपके फादर, आप जो मैं मिस कर गया 20 दिन, वो विजयंत ने पूरा कर दिया कारगिल की लड़ाई। सर, कैप्टन विजयंत की क्या कहानी है, हमारे दर्शक ये जानना चाहेंगे। व्हाट इज हिज स्टोरी? लाइक ही वाज विद 2 राजपूत सर? ही वाज विद 2 राजपूत, 2 राजपूताना राइफल्स में थे। उनकी कहानी मैंने इस किताब में लिख दिए विजयंत एट कारगिल।
मैं आपका पर्सनल व्यू जानना चाहता हूं। रेप के चार्ज में एक्यूज अंदर जेल, सीबीआई, बाबा राम रहीम, मनोहर लाल खट्टर का पर्सनल व्यू क्या? क्लैरिटी आनी चाहिए खट्टर साहब।
मैं बिल्कुल क्लियर हूं, जब तक मैं मुख्यमंत्री हूं तब तक मेरा कोई पर्सनल व्यू नहीं है।
करप्शन पे तो आप क्लियर थे।
करप्शन पर भी मुख्यमंत्री का ही जो विचार है वो ही है मेरा। जिस दिन मुझे अगर चेंज करने का कोई अवसर आएगा तो मुख्यमंत्री नहीं होगा तो चेंज करने की बात आएगी, करूंगा। नहीं करने की बात हो सकता है वो भी वही हो।
माशरुकुद्दीन के घर पर अब बड़ी कार्रवाई हो रही है। हिस्ट्री शीटर बताया जा रहा है, फाइनेंसर बताया जा रहा है, इस गांव का प्रधान भी है और कहा जा रहा है कि ये जो मकान मेरे पीछे आप देख रहे हैं इसे नियमों को ताक पर रख कर बनाया गया। अब इसे गिराया जाएगा। उमेश पाल हत्याकांड में शरीक जो शूटर्स थे उनको हथियार मुहैया कराना, उनको फंडिंग करने में
The UP government has initiated bulldozer action against jail MLA Abbas Ansari, son of jail gangster turned politician Mukhtar Ansari. I will get you all the details, but first the headlines we're tracking at this moment. Manish Sisodia to be produced in court today as his custody ends. Court to also hear his bail plea. While Congress hurls elitist insult on Prime Minister, says Rahul has standard to speak at Oxford, but PM Modi has radio standard. As bribe gate hits Karnataka BJP, its MLA goes absconding after 8 crore cash recovery. Congress launches protest against BJP over bribe gate, protesting Congress leaders detained. Assam CM Himanta Biswa Sarma slams Rahul Gandhi for his comment on Pulwama and attempting to defame India. Another temple attacked in Australia. Anti-Hindu and Khalistani slogans smeared in temple wall. Viewers, Yogi's action on Mafia Dawn continues. The Yogi government is running bulldozers on illegal property of Mafia Dawn Mukhtar Ansari's son in Mau. The visuals of that on the screen right now, what is happening, and as you can clearly see that Yogi Adityanath is putting his words into action, because time and again Yogi Adityanath has spoken about the fact that that even if the mafia was prospering under the opposition at one point of time, but no more that will happen. The bulldozer action will continue against mafia.
मकान है, इसमें बेसमेंट भी है और इसी को लेकर के कल डीएम के आदेश के बाद यहाँ पर बुलडोज़र की कार्रवाई शुरू हुई थी। आपको बताऊं कि आज से तकरीबन 1 महीने पहले इसको लेकर के जो यहाँ के सिटी मजिस्ट्रेट हैं उनके पास इसको लेकर के एक शख्स ने केस किया था कि ये किसी और की ज़मीन पर मुख्तार अंसारी के बेटों ने ज़मीन को कब्जा करके और उसके बाद अपना आशियाना यहाँ बनाया है, जिसके बाद इस पूरे केस को लेकर के
राष्ट्रीय भाई जी बिल्कुल उसी पर फिर उसी मकान पर घूमने चल रहा है, क्योंकि कल जो इस पर काम हुआ था, कल जो उसका कार्रवाई को कंटिन्यू किया गया है, उस कार्रवाई को बरकरार रखा गया है और ताबड़तोड़ कार्रवाई जारी है। मकान के दूसरे हिस्से को अब मिट्टी में मिलाने का काम कर दिया गया है। तो आपको मैं लाइव
देखिए, मुख्तार अंसारी के बेटों का जो घर है उस पर फिलहाल कार्रवाई शुरू हो चुकी है और आज सुबह से ही जो पुलिस की टीम थी वो यहाँ पर मौके पर पहुंची हुई थी, प्रशासन की टीम मौके पर पहुंची हुई थी और उसके बाद जेसीबी से यहाँ की जो कार्रवाई है वो शुरू की गई थी। लेकिन उसके बाद अभी चूंकि ये बिल्डिंग बहुत मजबूत बनाई गई है, यहाँ के जो पिलर्स हैं वो बहुत मजबूत हैं और वो जेसीबी से गिराए नहीं जा रहे थे। इसके बाद जो पोकलैंड मशीन है वो यहाँ पर लाई गई है और वो देखिए किस तरीके से ड्रिल करके जो एक एक जो ईंट है वो यहाँ से निकालने की कोशिश में है, एक एक ईंट को गिराने की कोशिश में है और उसके बाद जो पिलर्स हैं उनको गिराया जा रहा है। आपको दिखा दूं, ये मऊ का जो जहांगीराबाद एरिया है यहाँ पर ये कार्रवाई आज हो रही है। आपको बताऊं कि आज से 1 महीने पहले एक शख्स ने इस बात की शिकायत की थी कि ये किसी और की ज़मीन पर मुख्तार अंसारी के दोनों बेटों ने अवैध तौर पर कब्जा करके यहाँ पर मकान बनाए हैं, जिसके बाद पुलिस ने अपनी जो पूरी कार्रवाई है वो शुरू की थी और उसके बाद पुलिस की तरफ जो सिटी मजिस्ट्रेट की तरफ से ये कहा गया था कि इस पूरे मकान का चूंकि ना मानचित्र तैयार है ना मानचित्र पास है, इसके साथ साथ ये ज़मीन भी किसी और शख्स की है, इस कारण इस पूरी बिल्डिंग का ध्वस्तीकरण होगा और उसके बाद मुख्तार अंसारी के दोनों बेटे वकील के द्वारा इस पूरे केस को लेकर के वो इलाहाबाद हाईकोर्ट गए थे और इलाहाबाद हाईकोर्ट ने उनसे ये बात कही थी कि इस पूरे केस की सुनवाई मऊ जो डीएम है उन्हीं क्या होगी और मऊ डीएम ने कल 1 बजे के करीब में इस बात का आदेश दिया है कि जो सिटी मजिस्ट्रेट की जाँच थी, जो उनका आदेश था, उसी बात की वही आदेश पास रहेगा और उसके बाद तकरीबन 3:30 बजे जो बुलडोजर है वो यहाँ पर पहुँच गया और उसके बाद ये कार्रवाई शुरू हुई। आपको बताऊँ कि ये जो पूरी ज़मीन है
इस तरीके से पिलर पर अटैक चालू है और लगातार ये जो कार्रवाई है वो जारी है।
All right, so our correspondent there getting us some more details. So right now you can see the visuals. You can see the bulldozer action which is happening as we speak. These are live visuals that we're getting for you, live report we're getting for you. So what's happening there is that Yogi Adityanath has spoken in the past and about that bulldozer action he will take against people who do not go by the rules, who try to disturb peace, the mafia. So right now, a tough action taken by the Yogi government on mafias and mafia don. Yogi government is running the bulldozer on illegal property of mafia don Mukhtar Ansari's son in Mao. So those are the visuals coming in right now, viewers, as we continue getting you the top updates at this point of time. Remember that this is the bulldozer action happening on the two-story home of Mukhtar Ansari's son in Mao. And we have been seeing Yogi Adityanath be very strict about his words and action when it comes to taking on the mafia in Uttar Pradesh. So visuals of that coming in for you right now, viewers. And this is the residence of mafia don Mukhtar Ansari's son in Mao. And remember, Abbas Ansari, the MLA from Mao, has also been, and the city magistrate had issued an order to demolish the two-story house. Right now, the police personnel and other concerned authorities have reached the spot and are raising the house to the ground. Those visuals coming in for you here on Republic TV as we continue getting you top updates this Saturday afternoon. All right, viewers, so the bulldozer action has been continuing in UP for the past few days now. And like we were telling you, Yogi Adityanath has spoken time and again, even in the House of the State Assembly, speaking time and again about the crackdown on the mafia in Uttar Pradesh. He has spoken about how the state government is making all efforts to improve the law and order situation in the state. He has frequently reference to bulldozers to raise illegal property of criminals and the mafia. So that has been coming in from Yogi Adityanath. Right now we are seeing the bulldozer action continue there in Mao. These are top updates we're getting for you here, Republic TV. And right now as we speak, This is a home of the jailed UP Don's son, whose home is being razed right now. The bulldozer is running on illegal property of Mafia Don Mukhtar Ansari's son-in-law. All right, viewers, so right now let's move ahead to the national capital, where we are expecting sometime later today the former Delhi Deputy CM Manish Sisodia will be produced in court as his custody is ending shortly. He has also applied for bail, and the hearing will be held today. In his bail application, he has submitted that he has joined a probe as and when called for by CBI. He further states that no fruitful purpose will be served by keeping him in custody, as all his recoveries have already been made. So very soon right now, viewers, Manish Sisodia will be produced in court around 2 p.m. That's what we know so far. And remember that he's being investigated for Liquorgate, and there are charges against him for that Liquorgate issue which has come up.
जिस तरीके से केंद्र सरकार एजेंसीज का दुरुपयोग करके महीनों तक मंत्रियों को जेल में रखने का प्रयास कर रही है, ये बहुत ज़रूरी है कि कोर्ट में भी और जनता में भी ये मैसेज जाए कि सीबीआई और ईडी का दुरुपयोग जो है राजनीतिक दुश्मनी निकालने के लिए किया जा रहा है, और जितने भी लीगल फोरम्स पे हम ये बात रख सकते हैं वहाँ हम रखेंगे।
All right, let's go straight to our correspondents on ground right now. Anuj and Madhurima are joining me live. Madhurima is outside the Rouse Avenue Court. Anuj outside the CBI headquarters. I want to come across to you first, Madhurima, because very soon, and we believe it will be a post-lunch when Manish Sisodia will be produced in the court because CBI remand ends today of the former Deputy CM. Madhurima.
Well, yes, absolutely, Shivangi. And this is happening after the Rouse Avenue Court itself awarded the Central Bureau of Investigation 5-day custody of the former Deputy Chief Minister. Remember, after the custody was awarded to the CBI, Manish Sisodia had also knocked the doors of the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court denied to hear the petition and said that they better go to a competent court or to the Delhi High Court, and after which we are seeing today that a bail application has been moved here at the Delhi High Court, where the CBI will be looking for more custody. Manish Sisodia will be asking for a bail, asserting that he has always complied by the summons of the Central Bureau of Investigation. He has always been present, his attendance has been up to mark, and there is no point of keeping him in the custody. He has asserted that all the recoveries that were supposed to be made have already been made, and it would be of no use to keep him in custody. These are the arguments that have been kept forth by Manish Sisodia's counsel in the bail plea. Also remember the last time as well what Sisodia's counsel had asserted in front of the Rouse Avenue Court, that the tweaks that the CBI is talking about were approved by the Lieutenant Governor, and why no inquiry in that area. And also over the fact that the Aam Aadmi Party had tried to mint maximum political benefit out of this entire controversy, where the BJP has been saying that liquor excise policy scam is out in the open. The Aam Aadmi Party has been claiming that it is nothing but political vendetta against a very high performing minister, that is the former Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia, that he has been revolutionizing the policies in the field of education and health after Satyendra Jain's arrest, so which is why this entire vendetta is happening. But in front of the court, it's all about the facts. So at around 2, we'll see that whether the CBI will be given any further custody if they ask for it, or whether the court will side with Manish Sisodia and award him a bail. Shivang.
Right. Also, let's go across to Anuj. Anuj, the CBI counsel in court last time, before he was granted CBI remand last time, Manish Sisodia, the CBI counsel clearly said that the entire liquor gate, the entire policy, the formulation and implementation of the policy was just to get profit. So that's a very big point which had come in from the CBI counsel. What are we learning today? What can we expect in court later on?
Well, if we talk about the CBI, then CBI is going to put up the point in front of the court, in the Rouse Avenue court, that they want custody to be extended. As this has been stated earlier also, that the dots has been already connected. And whereas if we talk about the testimony, if we talk about the investigation where it has been taken to till now, then let me also remind you that these were the statement of the bureaucrats who were under Manish Sisodia, and their statement has been recorded under 164. So making that one point, on the other hand, stating it categorically, CBI is saying that Manish Sisodia is not cooperating in the investigation. So these are the 2 points which has been kept by the CBI earlier also, and now this is going to be taken ahead. As the dots has been connected, that's something what we are telling to our viewers. There, the CBI has got some leads from the people who are already under the custody, and there this has been informed. There was a meeting, a top-level meeting where Vijay Nair, on the direction of Manish Sisodia, this has been stated, this has been alleged, met with some people that who got benefit in this particular liquor policy. There was some photocopy which was done in that particular hotel, and what all these papers are, what was about the liquor policy, all this being already investigated, and this is going to be the part of the investigation which has to be taken ahead. So CBI having these grounds, and now after connecting the dots is going to ask for custody to be extended. This is to wait and watch what exactly is going to happen in the court, but at this point in time, let me tell you, whereas on one side the Aam Aadmi Party is calling it political vendetta, the CBI is coming out with the proofs, and they are going to put ground that why this custody need to be extended. Let me also give you the sense from the CBI headquarters from where I am reporting. There you can clearly see it is a warning which has been already given that 144 is already imposed in this particular area. As you can see the barricading from both the side, I am reporting from the CBI headquarters, so both the entry and exit could be clearly seen where the barricading has been already done, as we have seen it last time, how this was the high voltage drama which was witnessed on the ground. So Aam Aadmi Party did the protest on the same. On the other hand, let me also remind you, if we talk about the reaction and the political ramifications of the same, then we have seen it since from the day one. Aam Aadmi Party calling it a political vendetta, they are calling it a witch hunt. Whereas we were just listening to the bite of Saurabh Bharadwaj, and Sanjay Singh, the Aam Aadmi Party senior leader and the Rajya Sabha MP, is going to come out with a press conference at 1. So there they are going to take the same line, although this is about the legalities now, because the matter is sub judice, and Deputy Chief Minister, rather the former Deputy Chief Minister, has been already arrested. He is under the custody. What we have been told that CBI is going to look for the extension of the custody, whereas Aam Aadmi Party is going to put forward the point, or rather the council of Manish is cooperating.
Right, Anuj. Well, Anuj and Madhurima, thank you for joining us live right now. We will be waiting for Manish Sisodia to be produced at the Rouse Avenue Court. I will come back to you as that development takes place. Let's move on right now, viewers. The Prime Minister Modi addressed the post-budget webinar on infrastructure and investment, improving logistics efficiency with the PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan today through video conferencing. Here's more.
The government has been increasing budgetary allocation for the development of world-class infrastructure. As Prime Minister Narendra Modi took to address the post-budget webinar, he said that this year's budget would be a reflection of this very vision.
इस वर्ष का बजट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर सेक्टर की ग्रोथ को नई एनर्जी देने वाला है। दुनिया के बड़े-बड़े एक्सपर्ट्स और कई प्रतिष्ठित मीडिया हाउसेस ने भारत के बजट और उसके स्ट्रेटेजिक डिसीजंस की भूरी प्रशंसा की है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi stressed on how this year's budget would be the main driving force in terms of infrastructure growth. Besides ministers and secretaries of the concerned central government ministries, a host of stakeholders from states, along with several industry and investment groups, attended the webinar. They provided suggestions for better implementation of the budgetary announcements. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Viewers, much more coming up on the other side as we continue to be live and breaking this Saturday. Assam CM Himanta Biswa Sarma slams Rahul Gandhi for his comment on Pulwama and attempting to defame India. Another temple attack in Australia, anti-Hindu and Khalistani slogans smeared in temple wall.
Amity faculty have filed over 1,700 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been conferred with the National Intellectual Property Award by Government of India for being the top Indian academic institution for patents and commercialization.
मैं आपका पर्सनल व्यू जानना चाहता हूं। रेप के चार्ज में एक्यूज अंदर जेल सीबीआई बाबा राम रहीम मनोहर लाल खट्टर का पर्सनल व्यू के क्लैरिटी आनी चाहिए खट्टर साहब।
मैं बिल्कुल क्लियर हूं, जब तक मैं मुख्यमंत्री हूं तब तक मेरा कोई पर्सनल व्यू नहीं है।
करप्शन पे तो आप क्लियर थे।
करप्शन पर भी मुख्यमंत्री का ही जो विचार है वो ये है मेरा। जिस दिन मुझे अगर चेंज करने का कोई अवसर आएगा तो मुख्यमंत्री नहीं होगा तो चेंज करने की बात आएगी, करूंगा। नहीं करने की बात हो सकता है वो भी वही हो।
फोर्थ जनरेशन आपने बोला जी, फोर्थ जनरेशन वो जो सन वही तो मैं कह रहा था कि ग्रैंडफादर आपके फादर आप जो मैं मिस कर गया 20 दिन वो विजयंत ने पूरा कर दिया कारगिल के लड़ाई। सर कैप्टन विजयंत की क्या कहानी है हमारे दर्शक ये जानना चाहेंगे। व्हाट इज हिज स्टोरी लाइक? ही वाज विद टू राजपूत सर। ही वाज विद टू राजपूत, दो राजपूताना राइफल्स में थे। उनकी कहानी मैंने इस किताब में लिख दी है, विजयंत एट कारगिल।
That India has changed when a gangster called Atiq Ahmed runs for cover. There is one particular phrase that Yogi Adityanath used today that has gone totally viral. Bhaglo ya bhaglo. Bhaglo, B-H-A-G, bhaglo meaning participate in the process of development. Or bhaglo, which means run away. This is a no-nonsense approach. The law-abiding citizens of this country, fed up of the mafia, the corruption, the terrorism, the threat, and the pseudo-secular Soros approach, they have come to love the Yogi approach. Why do people who say that India must dismantle Hindutva, why do these people have a problem when you say dismantle the mafia Yogi style? They say he dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle the mafia. They say dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle their secular gangsters. They say dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle the weak negativity and corruption that people like Atiq Ahmed and gangster politicians have come to represent. Doesn't Atiq Ahmed, Mukhtar Ansari and a whole lot of this gangster scum, the fact that Yogi gets them groveling, doesn't it make you want to rejoice? And that's why I began by saying that you know that India has changed when gangster scum like Atiq Ahmed run for cover.
अभी राजस्थान में मसला हुआ था भिवानी वाले में, उसमें वो जो मोनू मानेसर उसके साथी श्रीकांत पंडित है, उनकी धर्मपत्नी की पिटाई हुई, क्या क्या हुआ, बहुत सारी चीजें हुई। मामले में हरियाणा पुलिस की FIR के अलावा मतलब ये वो सारी चीजें हैं।
देखिए एक इंडिविजुअल घटना को लेकर के परसेप्शन नहीं,
पर ये इतनी बड़ी बन जाती है सिचुएशन,
घटना बड़ी है। मैं उसको इसकी घटना की निंदा करता हूँ मैं, लेकिन उसको ये कहें कि कोई लॉ एंड ऑर्डर खराब हो गया है, ऐसी स्थिति नहीं है।
पर ऐसा परसेप्शन बना दिया जाता है।
मैं कहता हूँ गलत बनाते हैं ना। आखिर तो हमने किसी दोषी को छोड़ा नहीं है।
माशरुकुद्दीन के घर पर अब बड़ी कार्रवाई हो रही है। हिस्ट्री शीटर बताया जा रहा है, फाइनेंसर बताया जा रहा है, इस गांव का प्रधान भी है और कहा जा रहा है कि ये जो मकान मेरे पीछे आप देख रहे हैं इसे नियमों को ताक पर रख कर बनाया गया, अब इसे गिराया जाएगा। उमेश पाल हत्याकांड में शरीक जो शूटर्स थे उनको हथियार मुहैया कराना, उनको फंडिंग करने में ये शख्स शामिल था। देखिए आलीशान 2 मंजिला ये मकान था जो माफिया ने बनाया था, जो गलत काम करके बनाया गया था, जिसकी फंडिंग गलत तरीके से हुई थी। अब उस मकान को विकास प्राधिकरण, प्रयागराज विकास प्राधिकरण गिरा रहा है।
सर पहली लड़ाई कौन सी देखी आपने?
मैं 1962 में कमीशन हो गया।
यू कमीशन आफ्टर द वॉर सर?
यस, लेकिन 65 में था। मेरा 65 का रोल तो बहुत जबरदस्त था। चीन के साथ मुठभेड़ हुआ था एज ए मिलिट्री हिस्टोरियन। समहाउ जो हमारा एक्शन है 1965 का, नाथुला, जेलपला, सेबुला, वो हिस्ट्री में अपीयर ही नहीं। 4 पैरा थी हमारे साथ, उनको भी डेकोरेशन मिली और हमारी कैजुअलिटीज भी हुई हैं, लेकिन वो कैसे स्किप कर दिया, क्यों स्किप कर दिया, द नेशन डजंट नो।
That India has changed when a gangster called Atiq Ahmed runs for cover. There is one particular phrase that Yogi Adityanath used today that has gone totally viral. Bhaglo ya bhaglo. Bhaglo, B-H-A-G, bhaglo meaning participate in the process of development. Or bhaglo, which means run away. This is a no-nonsense approach. The law-abiding citizens of this country, fed up of the mafia, the corruption, the terrorism, the threat, and the pseudo-secular Soros approach, they have come to love the Yogi approach. Why do people who say that India must dismantle Hindutva, why do these people have a problem when you say dismantle the mafia Yogi style? They say he dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle the mafia. They say dismantle Hindutva, I say
Welcome back. There's a buzz around the Indian budget carrier Indigo being in talks with both Boeing and its current supplier Airbus to order more than 500 passenger jets, potentially smashing an industry record set by domestic rival Air India a few weeks ago. Here's a report.
Well, it's significant coming together of India's geo-economic and geo-strategic clout and getting it projected onto India's consumption story. Remember, at about 500 aircrafts, this Indigo deal is going to be anything between 150 to $200 billion or even more. And the fact that that kind of money is going to go into the European Union and American economy gives India that much leverage with these strategic powers in terms of leveraging our own interests. Remember when the Air India deal happened for 470 aircrafts at about $150 billion, how French President Emmanuel Macron came out in a press conference. There was a statement from 10 Downing Street with Rishi Sunak acknowledging the number of jobs that would be created. And then we, of course, also had American President, the White House coming out with a statement. So that gives you an idea of what this is going to mean with 500 more aircrafts to be bought by Indigo for India over the next few years, the deal for which has to happen between the airline and the respective companies, Airbus, insofar as the EU is concerned, and Boeing with the Americans. And also remember that Prime Minister mentioned that Indian civil aviation market, the manner in which it has grown, is looking at something like 2,000 aircrafts over the next decade, which means you are looking at similar orders coming in from other private airlines. That's the success story in many ways. A, of the manner in which the civil aviation sector has been handled by the government, and B, India's consumption story with all those hundreds and millions of citizens wanting to fly and the government really facilitating with all that infrastructure that has come up over the last few years. So this is going to be important. This is going to be a reflection of how India is going to grow over the next few years in terms of a society having that much of confidence that they can, need and then buy 2,000 plus aircrafts.
All right, viewers, much more coming up on the other side. Bulldozer action continues. Mukhtar Ansari's son's properties to be razed.
Amity faculty have filed over 1,700 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been conferred with the National Intellectual Property Award by Government of India for being the top Indian academic institution for patents and commercialization.
माशरुकुद्दीन के घर पर अब बड़ी कार्रवाई हो रही है। हिस्ट्री शीटर बताया जा रहा है, फिनेंसर बताया जा रहा है, इस गांव का प्रधान भी है और कहा जा रहा है कि ये जो मकान मेरे पीछे आप देख रहे हैं, इससे नियमों को ताक पर रख कर बनाया गया। अब इसे गिराया जाएगा। उमेश पाल हत्याकांड में शरीक जो शूटर्स थे, उनको हथियार मुहैया कराना, उनको फंडिंग करने में ये शख्स शामिल था। देखिए आलीशान 2 मंजिला ये मकान था जो माफिया ने बनाया था, जो गलत काम करके बनाया गया था, जिसकी फंडिंग गलत तरीके से हुई थी। अब उस मकान को विकास प्राधिकरण, प्रयागराज विकास प्राधिकरण गिरा रहा है।
That India has changed when a gangster called Atiq Ahmed runs for cover. There is one particular phrase that Yogi Adityanath used today that has gone totally viral. Bhaglo ya bhaglo. Bhaglo, B-H-A-G, bhaglo meaning participate in the process of development. Or bhaglo, which means run away. This is a no-nonsense approach. The law-abiding citizens of this country, fed up of the mafia, the corruption, the terrorism, the threat, and the pseudo-secular Soros approach, they have come to love the Yogi approach. Why do people who say that India must dismantle Hindutva, why do these people have a problem when you say dismantle the mafia Yogi style? They say he dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle the mafia. They say dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle their secular gangsters. They say dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle the weak negativity and corruption that people like Atiq Ahmed and gangster politicians have come to represent. Doesn't Atiq Ahmed, Mukhtar Ansari and a whole lot of this gangster scum, the fact that Yogi gets them groveling, doesn't it make you want to rejoice? And that's why I began by saying that you know that India has changed when gangster scum like Atiq Ahmed run for cover.
मैं आपका पर्सनल व्यू जानना चाहता हूं। रेप के चार्ज में एक्यूज अंदर जेल, सीबीआई, बाबा राम रहीम, मनोहर लाल खट्टर का पर्सनल व्यू क्या, क्लैरिटी आनी चाहिए खट्टर साहब।
मैं बिल्कुल क्लियर हूं, जब तक मैं मुख्यमंत्री हूं तब तक मेरा कोई पर्सनल व्यू नहीं है।
करप्शन पे तो आप क्लियर थे।
करप्शन पर भी मुख्यमंत्री का ही जो विचार है वो ही है मेरा। जिस दिन मुझे अगर चेंज करने का कोई अवसर आएगा तो मुख्यमंत्री नहीं होगा तो चेंज करने की बात आएगी, करूंगा। नहीं करने की बात हो सकता है वो भी वही हो।
फोर्थ जनरेशन आपने बोला जी, 4th जनरेशन वो जो सन, वही तो मैं कह रहा था कि ग्रैंडफादर, आपके फादर, आप जो मैं मिस कर गया 20 दिन, वो विजयंत ने पूरा कर दिया कारगिल के लड़ाई। सर कैप्टन विजयंत की क्या कहानी है, हमारे दर्शक ये जानना चाहेंगे। व्हाट इज हिज स्टोरी? लाइक ही वाज विद 2 राजपूत सर, ही वाज विद 2 राजपूत, 2 राजपूताना राइफल्स में थे। उनकी कहानी मैंने इस किताब में लिख दी है, विजयंत एट कारगिल।
That India has changed when a gangster called Atiq.
सर पहली लड़ाई कौन सी देखी आपने?
मैं 1962 में कमीशन हो गया।
यू कमीशन आफ्टर द वॉर सर?
यस, लेकिन 65 में था। मेरा 65 का रोल तो बहुत जबरदस्त था। चीन के साथ मुठभेड़ हुआ था। एज ए मिलिट्री हिस्टोरियन समहाउ जो हमारा एक्शन है 1965 का, नाथुला, जेलपला, सेबुला, वो हिस्ट्री में अपीयर ही नहीं। और पैरा थी हमारे साथ, उनको भी डेकोरेशन मिली और हमारी कैजुअलिटीज भी हुई हैं, लेकिन वो कैसे स्किप कर दिया, क्यों स्किप कर दिया, द नेशन डजंट नो।
Good afternoon. You're watching Republic TV. This Saturday, I'm Shivangi Shukla, getting you the latest. Many breaking updates coming in. We'll come to that, but first, the headlines we're tracking right now. Manish Sisodia to be produced in court today as his custody ends. Court to also hear his bail plea. As bribe gate hits Karnataka, BJP MLA goes absconding after 8 crore cash recovery. Congress launches protest against BJP over bribe gate, protesting Congress leaders detained. For the 4th consecutive day, bulldozer action continues. Mafia Dawn's property razed. Vadra Congress hurls elitist insult on PM, says Rahul has standard to speak at Oxford, while PM Modi has radio standard. Assam CM Himanta Biswa Sarma slams Rahul Gandhi for his comment on Pulwama and attempting to defame India. Viewers, let's go straight to the top story we're tracking right now. After Lokayukta recovered 8 crore cash from a BJP MLA son that was allegedly taken as a bribe, the BJP MLA has gone missing. The Congress has launched a protest and tried marching to the CM's residence, but the march was stalled and the Congress leaders were detained, viewers. So right now we're seeing a protest happening there. This is coming in as, of course, the Congress is protesting after crores and crores of cash were recovered. And we're getting top updates coming in at this point of time on this story, where we are seeing that amidst all this, the BJP MLA has gone missing. The BJP MLA has gone missing right now, viewers. And we are also learning that the protests are continuing. Some Congress leaders have also been detained. So these points are trickling in. I just want to go across to Prajwal, who's joining us live. He's covering every detail coming out from the ground. So Prajwal, the BJP MLA has gone missing. The Congress is protesting after crores and crores were seized. What's the latest that we are learning so far?
So far as the protests are concerned with the Congress in the state, the protests have ended now with the majority of the Congress leaders and the cadres being detained by the cops and taken away. But more and more allegations coming in now, where I also had a word with the president of the KSDL Employees Union, and he's stating that this is only the tip of the iceberg. The cash that has been seized, amounting to 8 crore 12 lakhs 30,000 rupees, is only the tip of the iceberg, and this particular scam runs to the tune of hundreds of crores of rupees. And he's gone on to allege that 139 crore rupees has been swindled off from the KSDL, and it is not only the chairman who is responsible for it, but also the managing director, the quality controller, the general manager, and the entire system who is going on to run the KSDL. We will need to also understand that the Karnataka Soaps and Detergents Limited is a government entity run by the government, with Madal Virupakshappa as the chairman. Now he's gone on to resign as well. But there is also a managing director. So directly the employees union is going on to allege this entire fact, stating that there are also several IAS officers also who have received kickback, and foremost among them is the managing director here. So these are some big revelations that are coming in, and they've also submitted documents in this particular regard. They've gone on to submit the documents and also they are stating that these particular documents had already been submitted. They had already been given in the past as well, but there was no sort of action which was initiated. But they are hopeful that Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai would go on to step in and will take action against the concerned officials and also the MLA as well.
Right. Prajwal, we're getting some reactions coming in as the Congress continues their protest. Let's play them out and then come back to you, Prajwal.
That effect that always he was telling that our government is a corruption-free government. What is this going on in the government? No, we never supported terrorism. It is in fact, Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi died for what? Because of the terrorism.
So till
why Congress party is supporting terrorism? See, Amit Shah is also lying. He's also a great liar.
All right, let's go back to Prajwal. Prajwal, we're seeing the Congress leaders protesting against the Bommai government. Just take us through exactly what the Congress has said, what action they want. But on the other hand, has the Karnataka government reacted to these allegations coming in?
Now, Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai has made it very clear, saying that there will be no sort of corruption which will be tolerated by the government, and even if they belong to the BJP party, the guilty will be punished. But as soon as you saw the raids which took place, and there was a letter of communication between Madal Virupakshappa and Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai, after which this BJP MLA from Channagiri has been absconding. He's neither been found at his farmhouse or at his residence in Davangere or at his flat in Bengaluru as well. So the big question question is, when will the cops go on to nab the accused MLA who's been named as the prime accused in the FIR which has been filed by the Lokayukta? Because now all the other 5 accused in the case, including Madal Prashant, have been handed over to the judicial custody for 14 days, and the police are likely to go on and take his custody this Monday as well and start with the interrogation process. But the Lokayukta still maintains that arresting Madal Virupakshappa is very important because of the fact that he also knew about certain kickbacks which were coming in, not only pertaining to this particular deal which was being struck, but also in the previous cases as well. Now, moving ahead and looking at what the Congress is demanding, the Congress has 3 major demands. First demand is that Madal Virupakshappa should be arrested. Second is Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai should resign, owing up some moral responsibility. And third, a political emergency should be declared in the state of Karnataka and election should be held immediately. These are the 3 primary demands. Now, the leader of the opposition, Siddaramaiah, has largely spoken about the suicides of the contractors in the state of Karnataka, namely Santosh Patil as well, who had gone on to commit suicide. But in that particular case, the Honorable Court in Karnataka had given a clean sheet to K.S. Ishwarappa, stating that the former RDPR minister had absolutely no role to play in it. Then the case of T.R. Prasad was also taken in, who had gone on to write a death note blaming BJP MLA Arvind Limbawali, stating that he had gone on to take huge amount of debts and he is one of the reasons that he is caught in this particular fix too. So all said and done now, these are some of the political developments coming in where the Congress is directly pointing out to the BJP MLAs and former ministers in Basavaraj Bommai led cabinet, going on to state that this is something which the government should have gone on to address. And they're also hitting out at the central leaders, mainly Union Home Minister Amit Shah, saying that now the Vijay Sankalpa Yatra has already been started in Karnataka. The Union Home Minister says that they need to go on, give a clean administration, a corruption-free administration.
Right.
But now these deeds by the BJP MLAs, who was also a chairman in the KSDL, says otherwise.
Right, Prajwal, thank you for getting us all the details. The BJP MLA is still absconding after massive cash recovery. We'll get you all the details. But Prajwal, you have spoken to a Congress leader as well, Ramalinga Reddy. Let's play out that conversation that Prajwal had with the Congress leader and what the Congress has to say about Karnataka bribe gate.
Since 2 years, not only our party, JDS and the contractors associations and a lot of public, they were telling about 40% commission. See, this is a proof. Not only this incident, wherever you go in BJP government, same thing is happening. Now we urge Bommai to resign from the Chief Minister's post.
Viewers, while addressing the legal fraternity in New Delhi, Chief Justice of India has made some important statements on fake news, trolling and tolerance. Here's more.
Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud made a significant statement on fake news while speaking at American Bar Association India Conference 2023 on the theme Law in the Age of Globalization, Convergence of India and the West.
Some of this is perhaps the product of technology itself. Truth has become the victim in an age of false news. With the spread of social media, something which is said as a seed germinates into virtually a whole theory which can never be tested on the anvil of rational science.
The CJI spoke about a range of issues, including technology and its use by the judiciary, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, and issues confronting the judicial profession.
For every little thing that we do, and believe you me, as judges we are no exceptions to this, because for everything that you do, you face the threat of being trolled by someone who doesn't share your point of view. We live today in an age where people are short on their patience and they are short on their tolerance. They are short on their patience, which is a reminder to me to be brief. But people are also short on the tolerance because we're not willing to accept perspectives which are different from our own.
His statement on trolling and tolerance has also been one of the highlights. CJI also gave details of how the Supreme Court has adopted technology, including live streaming of proceedings on the Constitution benches and translation of judgments in regional languages. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Viewers, much more coming up on the other side as we continue to get you top updates. Bulldozer action continues. Mukhtar Ansari's son's properties are being razed. Another temple attacked in Australia. Anti-Hindu and Khalistani slogans smeared in temple walls. Stay tuned.
माशरुकुद्दीन के घर पर अब बड़ी कार्रवाई हो रही है। हिस्ट्री शीटर बताया जा रहा है, फिनेंसर बताया जा रहा है, इस गांव का प्रधान भी है और कहा जा रहा है कि ये जो मकान मेरे पीछे आप देख रहे हैं, इसे नियमों को ताक पर रख कर बनाया गया। अब इसे गिराया जाएगा। उमेश पाल हत्याकांड में शरीक जो शूटर्स थे, उनको हथियार मुहैया कराना, उनको फंडिंग करने में ये शख्स शामिल था। देखिए, आलीशान 2 मंजिला ये मकान था जो माफिया ने बनाया था, जो गलत काम करके बनाया गया था, जिसकी फंडिंग गलत तरीके से हुई थी। अब उस मकान को विकास प्राधिकरण, प्रयागराज विकास प्राधिकरण गिरा रहा है।
अभी राजस्थान में मसला हुआ था भिवानी वाले में, उसमें वो जो मोनू मानेसर, उसके साथ ही श्रीकांत पंडित है, उनकी धर्मपत्नी की पिटाई हुई, क्या क्या हुआ, बहुत सारी चीजें हुई। मामले में हरियाणा पुलिस की FIR के अलावा मतलब ये वो सारी चीजें हैं।
देखिए, एक इंडिविजुअल घटना को लेकर के परसेप्शन नहीं,
पर ये इतनी बड़ी बन जाती
बड़ी
है,
सिचुएशन बड़ी है। मैं उसको इसकी घटना की निंदा करता हूँ मैं, लेकिन उसको ये कहें कि कोई लॉ एंड ऑर्डर खराब हो गया है, ऐसी स्थिति नहीं है।
पर ऐसा परसेप्शन बना दिया जाता है।
मैं कहता हूँ गलत बनाते हैं ना। आखिर तो हमने किसी दोषी को छोड़ा नहीं है।
4 जनरेशन आपने बोला जी, 4 जनरेशन वो जो सन्स, वही तो मैं कह रहा था कि ग्रैंडफादर, आपके फादर, आप जो मैं मिस कर गया 20 दिन, वो विजयंत ने पूरा कर दिया कारगिल की लड़ाई। सर, कैप्टन विजयंत की क्या कहानी है, हमारे दर्शक ये जानना चाहेंगे। व्हाट इज हिज स्टोरी? लाइक ही वाज विद 2 राजपूत सर, ही वाज विद 2 राजपूत, 2 राजपूताना राइफल्स में थे। उनकी कहानी मैंने इस किताब में लिख दी है, विजयंत एट कारगिल।
मैं आपका पर्सनल व्यू जानना चाहता हूं। रेप के चार्ज में एक्यूज अंदर जेल, CBI, बाबा राम रहीम, मनोहर लाल खट्टर का पर्सनल व्यू क्या, क्लैरिटी आनी चाहिए खट्टर साहब।
मैं बिल्कुल क्लियर हूं, जब तक मैं मुख्यमंत्री हूं तब तक मेरा कोई पर्सनल व्यू नहीं है।
करप्शन पे तो आप क्लियर थे।
करप्शन पर भी मुख्यमंत्री का ही जो विचार है वो ये है मेरा। जिस दिन मुझे अगर चेंज करने का कोई अवसर आएगा तो मुख्यमंत्री नहीं होगा तो चेंज करने की बात आएगी, करूंगा। नहीं करने की बात हो सकता है वो भी वही हो।
पहली लड़ाई कौन सी देखी आपने?
मैं 1962 में कमीशन हो गया।
यू कमीशन आफ्टर द वॉर सर?
यस, लेकिन 65 में था। मेरा 65 का रोल तो बहुत जबरदस्त था। चीन के साथ मुठभेड़ हुआ था एज ए मिलिट्री हिस्टोरियन। समहाउ जो हमारा एक्शन है 1965 का, नाथुला, जेलपला, सेबुला, वो हिस्ट्री में अपीयर ही नहीं हुआ। 4 पैरा थी हमारे साथ, उनको भी डेकोरेशन मिली और हमारी कैजुअलिटीज भी हुई हैं, लेकिन वो कैसे स्किप कर दिया, क्यों स्किप कर दिया, द नेशन डजंट नो।
माशरुकुद्दीन के घर पर अब बड़ी कार्रवाई हो रही है। हिस्ट्री शीटर बताया जा रहा है, फिनेंसर बताया जा रहा है, इस गांव का प्रधान भी है और कहा जा रहा है कि ये जो मकान मेरे पीछे आप देख रहे हैं, इसे नियमों को ताक पर रख कर बनाया गया। अब इसे गिराया जाएगा। उमेश पाल हत्याकांड में शरीक जो शूटर्स थे, उनको हथियार मुहैया कराना, उनको फंडिंग करने में ये शख्स।
अभी राजस्थान में मसला हुआ था भिवानी वाले में, उसमें वो जो मोनू मानेसर, उसके साथ ही श्रीकांत पंडित है, उनकी धर्मपत्नी की पिटाई हुई, क्या क्या हुआ, बहुत सारी चीजें हुई। मामले में हरियाणा पुलिस के अलावा मतलब ये वो सारी चीजें हैं।
देखिए, एक इंडिविजुअल घटना को लेकर के परसेप्शन नहीं,
पर ये इतनी बड़ी बन जाती है,
सिचुएशन बड़ी है। मैं उसको इसकी घटना की निंदा करता हूं मैं, लेकिन उसको ये कहें कि कोई लॉ एंड ऑर्डर खराब हो गया है, ऐसी स्थिति नहीं है।
पर ऐसा परसेप्शन बना दिया जाता है।
मैं कहता हूँ गलत बनाते हैं ना। आखिर तो हमने किसी दोषी को छोड़ा नहीं है।
He was in a speech addressing the Conservative Political Action Conference, a top annual event of the Republican Party and its support base. Indian American Nikki Haley has now continued with her focus on America's foreign policy, where she said that Communist China is the strongest and the most disciplined enemy that the US has ever faced. Take a look at this report.
(2024) GOP presidential candidate Nikki Haley set futuristic vision at CPAC. Lashing out at China, she said that the dragon is the strongest and most disciplined enemy of the US.
China thinks the American era has passed. So do our enemies. But they're wrong. America is not past our prime. It's just that our politicians are past theirs.
Not just this, Haley also said that she will cut off all US foreign aid to China as president.
Some of them even support terrorists that try and kill our troops. To this day, we're giving foreign aid to Pakistan, Iraq, the Palestinians, and even communist Cuba and China. We need to stop trying to buy friends, and all we're doing is paying off our enemies. When I'm president, we will stop giving money to countries that hate America.
Taking a strong stand against Pakistan, she said US will stop sending aid to countries who harbor and support terrorists once she comes to power.
On Joe Biden's watch, we hit $31 trillion in national debt. He's put us on track to add $20 trillion more in the next 10 years. And by the way, some Republicans have helped him do that. We need to stop with the earmarks and pet projects once and for all.
Haley attacked President Joe Biden over federal spending, the rising level of federal debt, forgiveness for college loans. Haley's speech was welcomed by the audience. She is so far facing Trump in the 2024 race. Agency report for Republic TV.
The US has now announced a new $400 million military aid package for Ukraine that for the first time includes armored vehicles that can launch bridges, allowing troops to cross rivers or other such gaps. Here is the full story.
As the Russia-Ukraine war intensifies, today, the Biden-Harris administration is announcing its 33rd security assistance package for Ukraine using presidential drawdown authorities as we continue to surge weapons and equipment that Ukraine needs to defend itself against Russian aggression. This package includes more ammunition for U.S.-provided HIMARS and howitzers that Ukraine is using so effectively to defend itself, as well as ammunition for Bradley infantry fighting vehicles, armored vehicle launch bridges, and demolition munitions and equipment. The United States will continue to rally the world to support Ukraine. The White House announces its 33rd military aid for Ukraine. The announcement that came just a week after a one-year anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine would be allowing Congress to nullify the city's laws for the first time in more than 3 decades. Agency report, Republic TV.
Stop sports action. The ICC rated the Holkar Stadium pitch as poor after Australia beat India by 9 wickets in a little over 2 days. Indian captain Rohit Sharma defended the nature of the pitch in the third test and said that it was the batters that would let their team down. Australian spinner Nathan becomes leading wicket taker after he broke the record of former Indian spinner Anil Kumble in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Daniel Medvedev ended Novak Djokovic's perfect start at the Dubai Tennis Championship as he defeated world number 1. Viewers, much more coming up on the other side. Manish Sisodia to be produced in court shortly as his custody ends. For the fourth consecutive day now, bulldozer action continues. Mafia Don's property razed.
सर पहली लड़ाई कौन सी देखी आपने?
मैं 1962 में कमीशन हो गया।
यू कमीशन आफ्टर द वॉर सर?
यस, लेकिन 65 में था। मेरा 65 का रोल तो बहुत जबरदस्त था। चीन के साथ मुठभेड़ हुआ था एज ए मिलिट्री हिस्टोरियन। समहाउ जो हमारा एक्शन है 1965 का, नाथुला, जेलपला, सेबुला, वो हिस्ट्री में अपीयर ही नहीं। और पैरा थी हमारे साथ, उनको भी डेकोरेशन मिली और हमारी कैजुअलिटीज भी हुई हैं, लेकिन वो कैसे स्किप कर दिया, क्यों स्किप कर दिया, द नेशन डजंट नो।
अभी राजस्थान में मसला हुआ था भिवानी वाले में, उसमें वो जो मोनू मानेसर, उसके साथी श्रीकांत पंडित है, उनकी धर्मपत्नी की पिटाई हुई, क्या क्या हुआ, बहुत सारी चीजें हुई। मामले में हरियाणा पुलिस की FIR के अलावा मतलब ये वो सारी चीजें हैं।
देखिए, एक इंडिविजुअल घटना को लेकर के परसेप्शन नहीं,
पर ये इतनी बड़ी बन जाती है सिचुएशन,
बड़ी है। मैं उसको इसकी घटना की निंदा करता हूँ मैं, लेकिन उसको ये कहें कि कोई लॉ एंड ऑर्डर खराब हो गया है, ऐसी स्थिति नहीं है।
पर ऐसा परसेप्शन बना दिया जाता है।
मैं कहता हूँ गलत बनाते हैं ना। आखिर तो हमने किसी दोषी को छोड़ा नहीं है।
फोर्थ जनरेशन आपने बोला जी, फोर्थ जनरेशन वाज योर सन्स। वही तो मैं कह रहा था कि ग्रैंडफादर, आपके फादर, आप जो मैं मिस कर गया 20 दिन, वो विजयंत ने पूरा कर दिया कारगिल की लड़ाई। सर, कैप्टन विजयंत की क्या कहानी है? हमारे दर्शक ये जानना चाहेंगे, व्हाट इज हिज स्टोरी? लाइक ही वाज विद 2 राजपूत सर? ही वाज विद 2 राजपूत, 2 राजपूताना राइफल्स में थे। उनकी कहानी मैंने इस किताब में लिख दी है, विजयंत एट कारगिल।
मैं आपका पर्सनल व्यू जानना चाहता हूं। रेप के चार्ज में एक्यूज अंदर जेल, CBI, बाबा राम रही, मनोहर लाल खट्टर का पर्सनल व्यू के क्लैरिटी आनी चाहिए खट्टर साहब।
मैं बिल्कुल क्लियर हूं, जब तक मैं मुख्यमंत्री हूं तब तक मेरा कोई पर्सनल व्यू नहीं है।
करप्शन पे तो आप क्लियर थे।
करप्शन पर भी मुख्यमंत्री का ही जो विचार है वो ये है मेरा। जिस दिन मुझे अगर चेंज करने का कोई अवसर आएगा तो मुख्यमंत्री नहीं होगा तो चेंज करने की बात आएगी, करूंगा। नहीं करने की बात हो सकता है वो भी वही हो।
माशरुकुद्दीन के घर पर अब बड़ी कार्रवाई हो रही है। हिस्ट्री शीटर बताया जा रहा है, फिनेंसर बताया जा रहा है, इस गांव का प्रधान भी है और कहा जा रहा है कि ये जो मकान मेरे पीछे आप देख रहे हैं, इसे नियमों को ताक पर रख कर बनाया गया। अब इसे गिराया जाएगा। उमेश पाल हत्याकांड में शरीक जो शूटर्स थे, उनको हथियार मुहैया कराना, उनको फंडिंग करने में ये शख्स शामिल था। देखिए, आलीशान 2 मंजिला ये मकान था जो माफिया ने बनाया था, जो गलत काम करके बनाया गया था, जिसकी फंडिंग गलत तरीके से हुई थी। अब उस मकान को विकास प्राधिकरण, प्रयागराज विकास प्राधिकरण गिरा रहा है।
अभी राजस्थान में मसला हुआ था भिवानी वाले में, उसमें वो जो मोनू मानेसर, उसके साथी श्रीकांत पंडित है, उनकी धर्मपत्नी की पिटाई हुई, क्या क्या हुआ, बहुत सारी चीजें हुई। मामले में हरियाणा पुलिस की FIR के अलावा मतलब ये वो सारी चीजें हैं।
देखिए, एक इंडिविजुअल घटना को लेकर के परसेप्शन नहीं,
पर ये इतनी बड़ी बन जाती है सिचुएशन,
बड़ी है। मैं उसको इसकी घटना की निंदा करता हूँ मैं, लेकिन उसको ये कहें कि कोई लॉ एंड ऑर्डर खराब हो गया है, ऐसी स्थिति नहीं है।
पर ऐसा परसेप्शन बना दिया जाता है।
मैं कहता हूँ गलत बनाते हैं ना। आखिर तो हमने किसी दोषी को छोड़ा नहीं है।
फोर्थ जनरेशन आपने बोला जी, फोर्थ जनरेशन वाज योर सन्स। वही तो मैं कह रहा था कि ग्रैंडफादर, आपके फादर, आप जो मैं मिस कर गया 20 दिन, वो विजयंत ने पूरा कर दिया कारगिल की लड़ाई। सर, कैप्टन विजयंत की क्या कहानी है? हमारे दर्शक ये जानना चाहेंगे, व्हाट इज हिज स्टोरी? लाइक ही वाज विद 2 राजपूत सर? ही वाज विद 2 राजपूत, 2 राजपूताना राइफल्स में थे। उनकी कहानी मैंने इस किताब में लिख दी है, विजयंत एट कारगिल।
मैं आपका पर्सनल व्यू जानना चाहता हूं। रेप के चार्ज में एक्यूज अंदर जेल, CBI, बाबा राम रही, मनोहर लाल खट्टर का पर्सनल व्यू के क्लैरिटी आनी चाहिए खट्टर साहब।
मैं बिल्कुल क्लियर हूं, जब तक मैं मुख्यमंत्री हूं तब तक मेरा कोई पर्सनल व्यू नहीं है।
करप्शन पे तो आप क्लियर थे।
करप्शन पर भी मुख्यमंत्री का ही जो विचार है वो ये है मेरा। जिस दिन मुझे अगर चेंज करने का कोई अवसर आएगा तो मुख्यमंत्री नहीं होगा तो चेंज करने की बात आएगी, करूंगा, नहीं करने की बात हो सकता है वो भी वही हो।
माशरुकुद्दीन के घर पर अब बड़ी कार्रवाई हो रही है। हिस्ट्री शीटर बताया जा रहा है, फिनेंसर बताया जा रहा है, इस गांव का प्रधान भी है और कहा जा रहा है कि ये जो मकान मेरे पीछे आप देख रहे हैं इसे नियमों को ताक पर रख कर बनाया गया, अब इसे गिराया जाएगा। उमेश पाल हत्याकांड में शरीक जो शूटर्स थे उनको हथियार मुहैया कराना, उनको फंडिंग करने में ये शख्स शामिल था। देखिए आलीशान 2 मंजिला ये मकान था जो माफिया ने बनाया था, जो गलत काम करके बनाया गया था, जिसकी फंडिंग गलत तरीके से हुई थी। अब उस मकान को विकास प्राधिकरण, प्रयागराज विकास प्राधिकरण गिरा रहा है।
That India has changed when a gangster called Atiq Ahmed runs for cover. There is one particular phrase that Yogi Adityanath used today that has gone totally viral. Bhaglo ya bhaglo. Bhaglo, B-H-A-G, bhaglo meaning participate in the process of development. Or bhaglo, which means run away. This is a no-nonsense approach. The law-abiding citizens of this country, fed up of the mafia, the corruption, the terrorism, the threat, and the pseudo-secular Soros approach, they have come to love the Yogi approach. Why do people who say that India must dismantle Hindutva, why do these people have a problem when you say dismantle the mafia Yogi style? They say he dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle the mafia. They say dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle.
पहली लड़ाई कौन सी देखी आपने?
मैं 1962 में कमीशन हो गया।
यू कमीशन आफ्टर द वॉर सर?
यस, लेकिन 65 में था। मेरा 65 का रोल तो बहुत जबरदस्त था। चीन के साथ मुठभेड़ हुआ था। एज ए मिलिट्री हिस्टोरियन समहाउ जो हमारा एक्शन है 1965 का, नाथुला, जेलपला, सेबुला, वो हिस्ट्री में अपीयर ही नहीं। और पैरा थी हमारे साथ, उनको भी डेकोरेशन मिली और हमारी कैजुअलिटीज भी हुई हैं, लेकिन वो कैसे स्किप कर दिया, क्यों स्किप कर दिया, द नेशन डजंट नो।
अभी राजस्थान में मसला हुआ था भिवानी वाले में, उसमें वो जो मोनू मानेसर, उसके साथ ही श्रीकांत पंडित है, उनकी धर्मपत्नी की पिटाई हुई, क्या क्या हुआ, बहुत सारी चीज़ें हुई। मामले में हरियाणा पुलिस की FIR के अलावा मतलब ये वो सारी चीज़ें हैं।
देखिए एक इंडिविजुअल घटना को लेकर के परसेप्शन नहीं,
पर ये इतनी बड़ी बन जाती है सिचुएशन,
घटना बड़ी है। मैं उसको इसकी घटना की निंदा करता हूँ मैं, लेकिन उसको ये कहें कि कोई लॉ एंड ऑर्डर खराब हो गया है, ऐसी स्थिति नहीं है।
पर ऐसा परसेप्शन बना दिया जाता है।
मैं कहता हूँ गलत बनाते हैं ना। आखिर तो हमने किसी दोषी को छोड़ा नहीं है।
Let's right now, Manish Sisodia to be produced in court today. As his custody ends, court to also hear his bail plea. As bribe gate hits Karnataka, BJP's MLA goes absconding after 8 crore cash recovery. Congress launches protest against BJP over bribe gate, protesting Congress leaders detained. For the 4th consecutive day, bulldozer action continues. The mafia don's property razed. While Congress hurls elitist insult, the Prime Minister says Rahul has standard to speak at Oxford, while PM Modi has radio standard. Assam CM Himanta Biswa Sarma slams Rahul Gandhi for his comment on Pulwama and attempting to defame India.
And getting you the big story of the day, Manish Sisodia, former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister, who was arrested last week in connection with Liquorgate will be produced in court today as his CBI custody ends. He has also applied for bail and the hearing will be held today as well in the Rouse Avenue court. In his bail application, he has submitted that he has joined probe as and when called for by the CBI. He further states that no fruitful purpose will be served by keeping him in custody as all recoveries have already been made. We have Anuj and Madhurima tracking the developments on this big story. But before that, let's listen in to what AAP Minister Saurabh Bharadwaj said on the case.
देखिए, जिस तरीके से केंद्र सरकार एजेंसीज का दुरुपयोग करके महीनों तक मंत्रियों को जेल में रखने का प्रयास कर रही है, ये बहुत ज़रूरी है कि कोर्ट में भी और जनता में भी ये मैसेज जाए कि सीबीआई और ईडी का दुरुपयोग जो है राजनीतिक दुश्मनी निकालने के लिए किया जा रहा है और जितने भी लीगल फोरम्स पे हम ये बात रख सकते हैं वहाँ हम रखेंगे.
So Sisodia will be produced in court in a short while from now. Madhurima is reporting from outside the Rouse Avenue court. Madhurima, you've been closely tracking the developments as far as Manish Sisodia is concerned. If you can tell our viewers at what time is Manish Sisodia set to leave the CBI office and at what time will he be produced in court today?
Well, Sanika, the former Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia is all set to be produced here at the Rouse Avenue Court at around 2 p.m. But let me take you straight to the pictures that speak that the Deputy Chief Minister will be brought here soon. As you can see, that the heavy barricading has just been done on the road so as to map the traffic and so as to make sure that, you know, after 15-20 minutes, this entire road will be shut and there will be no traffic movement at all. This speaks that Sisodia will be brought here soon because the traffic management, as you can see, has already begun. The security has been beefed up in the entire vicinity. Manish Sisodia today will also be applying for a bail, Sanika, because he has also said in his bail plea that he has always adhered to all the summons by the Central Bureau of Investigation and that he will continue to do so in the near future as well. But remember, the CBI during the last time at the Rouse Avenue Court in front of the judge had said that Manish Sisodia was evasive and was dodging multiple questions, and which is why it was imperative for the court to award CBI its custody. So we'll have to wait and watch as to what will the CBI said if they want to extend the custody, if they are going to ask for more custody of the Deputy Chief Minister. But at the same time, we've seen that the bail plea simply asserts that he is going to adhere to all the summons and is going to fully cooperate. Remember, the CBI had sought for this custody the last time based on multiple evidences that it had found after multiple arrests were made, multiple interrogations were done, and specifically on the basis of a very crucial statement that was recorded in front of a magistrate under Article 164 by a bureaucrat that told that allegedly it was Manish Sisodia who tweaked the entire matter into the favor of a couple of liquor companies, and then the alleged scam took place. So, Sanika, remember that this entire case unraveled when the Principal Secretary highlighted a couple of loopholes to the Lieutenant Governor, asserting that there was an unnecessary haste adopted by the Aam Aadmi Party government and specifically Manish Sisodia to pass this liquor license, this liquor policy, I beg your pardon. But what, to the benefit of the CBI, there have been multiple, evidences combed out of many interrogations. So we'll have to wait and watch, Sanika, as to what happens at 2. Will the CBI ask for more custody and will they tell us that whether Mr. Sisodia is cooperating now or not?
Yes, and Madhurima, as you report from outside the Rouse Avenue court, where Sisodia will be brought in from some time, will be brought in. In a short while from now, we have Harsha reporting from outside the CBI headquarters. Manish Sisodia is currently lodged there. He's in CBI custody. Cutting across to Harsha to get a sense of the preparations being made there ahead of Manish Sisodia's appearance in court. Harsha, over to you.
Manish Sisodia is in CBI custody, and today the CBI custody of Manish Sisodia ends, and everyone is eyeing on what exactly CBI prosecutors are going to tell the court regarding the investigation point of view, regarding the questions he's been cooperative or not. He has answered to certain questions
or not. He has answered to certain questions which the officers have been asking him or not. Let me give you a sense of the place from where I'm reporting. The barricades have been put up and the entire roads are blocked. The routes have been deviated. The routes which the roads which goes towards Lodhi Road, Mathura Road, and towards the Lutyens zone all have been blocked and deviated by the police officers. Huge police personnel are also deployed here because, as we saw on February 26th, also that there were AAP Karyakartas who were protesting outside BJP headquarters. So that AAP Karyakartas don't juggle up here outside CBI office. Therefore, the routes have been blocked. Huge security personnel have also been deployed over here, and we are expecting that Manish Sisodia will be taken out of CBI custody at around 1:30 so that they reaches Rouse Avenue Court around 2 o'clock, which is not much far from the place from where I am reporting outside CBI office. Also, Sanika, let me show you this route also, because the main entrance, there are 3 entrances of CBI headquarters. All the entrances have been blocked. Security personnel have been deployed. RAF, CRPF, Delhi police personnel. All these 3 forces have been deployed to control any sort of protest which Karyakartas will be carrying out. But till now, it doesn't seem like that Aam Aadmi Party Karyakartas are anywhere here near the area. So, Sanika, let's wait for 1:30 when Manish Sisodia will be taken out from CBI headquarters.
Yes, and in connection with the same case, Harsha, we're also getting news that YSRCP MP Magunta Srinivasulu Reddy's son, Magunta Raghava, his judicial custody has been extended. He will be in custody till March 18th. This is in the same Delhi liquor scam. We are keeping a close watch on the developments in the national capital as Sisodia will be presented in court in a short while from now. Moving on to the other big story of the day. From the poll-bound state of Karnataka, where bribe-gate allegations have hit BJP, and now we're getting information on the kind of probe that the Lokayukta is conducting. What we are getting to know is that KSDL Employees Union has made massive allegations against the BJP MLA Virupakshappa and the board of KSDL. Now, they have alleged that this scam runs to the tunes of hundreds of crores. They've released certain documents and alleged that the entire board colluded with the chairman to mint money. KSDL Employees Union President has said that tenders were awarded to companies who quoted double the price for basic raw materials, which could have been obtained at 50% cost. So basically, tenders were inflated and the entire board colluded with the chairman so as to make money, so as to seek bribes, is the allegation coming in from the KSDL Employees Union. This is the same board, the KSDL board, that the BJP MLA was chairing. We have Prajwal joining us live. We have Prajwal joining us live on this broadcast with this breaking news development that is taking place. Prajwal, the MLA is still absconding, is what we are getting to know. 8 crore cash has been seized from his son's office and house. MLA is missing. The scam allegedly runs to the tune of hundreds of crores. This is as per the allegations made by the union. If you can tell our viewers about these allegations that are now emerging, the documents that are now emerging as far as this case is concerned.
Now, the sort of documents that has been given by the KSDL Employees Union states and shows irregularities in the procurement indent as well as the manual indent as well. meaning to state that the cost for oil, the cost for raw materials in preparing this particular soap, which is the Mysore sandal soap, is much higher than what is the base price exactly. So now the employees union are going on to allege that it is not only the chairman who received the kickback, but it also includes the managing director, who is an IAS officer by the name of Uma Shankar, and also the quality controller, the general manager, and the entire board who have received kickback. And this is not happening only since the past few months. This has happened for the past several years, and this has also been brought to the notice of Chief Minister Baswaraj Bommai as well. But so far no sort of action was taken, is what the union has alleged, but they are still stating that they are positive that action will be taken. In this particular regard now, the Lokayukta will begin questioning of the prime accused, Madal Prashant, in this case from Monday onwards, after which all the employees, mainly the managing director of the KSDL, will also be called in for questioning by the Lokayukta, because now material evidence which has been seized from the house of the MLA and his son is also pointing out to the role of bureaucrats in the state of Karnataka who were involved allegedly in receiving kickbacks. So far now, the Lokayukta had remained tight-lipped about who these bureaucrats are, and they have stated that they will file additional complaints and additional FIRs will be booked once they know that the role of these bureaucrats will be established. This is one of the major, major information that is coming in through. And now when it comes to KSDL, only in the year of 2021 to 2022, the scam is worth 300 crore rupees, is what the KSDL Union Employees Association President Shiv Shankar, who spoke to Republic exclusively, is alleging. And he also went on to quote an example stating that if a fragrance oil for 1 kg will cost 1,500 rupees, the bidder for providing this raw manufacturing material is bidding it at a cost of 2,800 rupees, meaning to state that he's quoting around 50% more than what the original price is. And in this 50%, 30% of this is going as cut money to the entire management of the Karnataka Soaps and Detergents Limited, and after which he will receive the remaining money as well. So these are some major allegations, and these evidences and documents are now being submitted to the Lokayukta, and the Lokayukta will also take up further investigation after looking at these documents which are being now provided by the KSDL Employees Union.
Prajwal, as we continue to report on this big development, the big breaking news that you're getting to us, in which we have a document released by the union, and you've spoken to the union head, to the employees union head, who is making this massive allegation. Let's listen in to that interview.
You have made some massive allegations stating that corruption in KSDL is running to the tune of hundreds of crore rupees. Over 300 crore rupees is the allegations made. Why are you saying this? And secondly, you also stated that even the managing director is directly or indirectly responsible for this scam.
Sir, you all know that KSDL is under public undertaking. That is a government of Karnataka running the prestigious company, and it is a 107-year-old company. And KSDL is producing that sandal soap. Worldwide is famous. And I can say this is an ambassador to our country, because that kind of a prestige bag. Nalmudi Krishna Rajendra Vadiyar and Sarvi Visheshwaraya has started this company. Our sandal oil extraction is there in Mysore, where we take the sandalwood and extract the sandal oil. And out of that we produce this sandal soap. That is the history. And why it is happening now since 2 days, the whole scandal is going on, because proper procedure has not been followed. See, you know, in public sector, the major document is the purchase manual. Yes. And then second one is the store manual. And there will be the responsibility, delegation of power that we can delegation of powers is also indicated in this system. This is all totally has been decided in the board of directors when the board. When that is the case, if you are not produced all these documents, followed all these documents, then the blunder is committed by the officials. See, Madal Virupakshappa, as for the delegation of power, is only presiding authority. But the major responsibility is only that, particularly the managing director, Dr. Mahesh is the main responsible person. Apart from that, there is a committee, that is a purchase committee. That purchase committee also has got members in the purchase committee. There is in purchase committee, there is a one R&D manager. See, one purchase committee constituted under the guidance of one general manager, PNC, that is Purchase Negotiation Committee, Mr. Umashankar Appali. He is the chairman. In that committee, there are members. R&D manager is also there by name Dr. Chidanand. And there is another manager, QCD, that is the quality control. There is another name by Nagraj. Then there is a deputy general manager of materials, Sundarmurthy. And then GM Finance, Avinash Gupta. These are all the people are there in the system. The purchase committee. When there is a purchase committee, it is their responsibility. The whole affair is going on because if you can see how this committee is working. See, now Madal Virupakshappa, if he say that you do this, then what is, as being an IAS officer, what is your responsibility? And what is the responsibility of this committee?
And the opposition staged a protest this morning. We had a big protest march by Congress leaders led by former Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. In fact, this protest march was stalled and leaders were also detained for marching towards the Chief Minister's residence. We spoke to some of these leaders before the protest march. Let's listen in to what they said.
Is it not a fact that always he was telling that our government is a corruption-free government? What is this going on in the government? No, we never supported terrorism. It is in fact, Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi died for what? Because of the terrorism.
So till
why Congress party is supporting terrorism? See, Amit Shah is also lying. He is also a great liar.
Since 2 years, not only our party, JDS and the contractors associations and a lot of public, they were telling about 40% commission. See, this is a proof. Not only this incident, wherever you go in BJP government, same thing is happening. Now we urge Bommai to resign from the Chief Minister's post.
Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is all set to pay a 4-day visit to India from March 8th with an aim to boost overall bilateral engagement in a range of areas including trade, investment and critical minerals. It will be his first visit to India after becoming the Prime Minister in May last year. Here's a report.
Australian PM Anthony Albanese will arrive in Ahmedabad on March 8th on the day of Holi. This comes after Albanese accepted the invitation of his Indian counterpart Narendra Modi to participate in the annual summit to discuss areas of cooperation under the India-Australia Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. Albanese will be accompanied by Minister for Trade and Tourism Dawn Farrell and Minister for Resources and Northern Australia Madeleine King, besides a high-level business delegation. He will also visit Mumbai on March 9th before arriving in New Delhi later in the day. The ties between India and Australia have been on an upswing in the last few years. The strategic partnership between the two countries was elevated to a comprehensive strategic partnership in June 2020. The Australian PM's visit is expected to provide further momentum to this comprehensive strategic partnership. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
And we're getting these pictures from Rajanna Sirisila in Telangana, where Telangana Congress Chief Revanth Reddy's convoy met with an accident when a vehicle in the group applied brakes. Around 5 other vehicles that were following this vehicle dashed each other. The airbags of the vehicles opened. One person has sustained minor injuries. Now Aneri is joining us to give us more details about this accident that has taken place. Aneri, over to you.
Well,
Sanika, we have been seeing how this incident was reported just some time back when a group of vehicles, a convoy of Telangana Congress Chief Revanth Reddy was on its way in Rajana Sircilla district of Telangana, where we see that a group of vehicles, a convoy of Revanth Reddy was following his car, and at that time one of the vehicle applied sudden brake and following other cars collided with each other, and that is the reason why we see that this incident has been reported in Rajana Sircilla district. Well, our officials have confirmed that one person has sustained minor injuries and other vehicles also got damaged because of this incident which has been reported. Well, now no other serious injuries have been reported, but yes, one person has sustained injury in this particular incident which has been reported when Revanth Reddy is on his way to Rajana Sircilla district. Well, his convoy met with an accident following 5 other vehicles were injured in this particular incident.
Yes, thank you very much, Aneri, for giving us those details. And we're heading into break right now. After the break, we'll get you a live report from the CBI headquarters and Rouse Avenue Court, where Manish Sisodia will be produced in a short while from now. And also, Yogi Adityanath bulldozer action continues for the 4th straight day. Mafia Don's son's property is being razed in Mau.
सर पहली लड़ाई कौन सी देखी आपने?
मैं 1962 में कमीशन हो गया।
यू कमीशन आफ्टर द वॉर सर?
यस, लेकिन 65 में था। मेरा 65 का रोल तो बहुत जबरदस्त था। चीन के साथ मुठभेड़ हुआ था। एज ए मिलिट्री हिस्टोरियन समहाउ जो हमारा एक्शन है 1965 का नाथुला, जेलपला, सेबुला, वो हिस्ट्री में अपीयर ही नहीं। और पैरा थी हमारे साथ, उनको भी डेकोरेशन मिली और हमारी कैजुअलिटीज भी हुई हैं, लेकिन वो कैसे स्किप कर दिया, क्यों स्किप कर दिया, द नेशन डजंट नो।
Amity faculty have filed over 1,700 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been conferred with the National Intellectual Property Award by Government of India for being the top Indian academic institution for patents and commercialization.
सर पहली लड़ाई कौन सी देखी आपने?
मैं 1962 में कमीशन हो गया।
यू कमीशन आफ्टर द वॉर सर?
यस, लेकिन 65 में था। मेरा 65 का रोल तो बहुत जबरदस्त था। चीन के साथ मुठभेड़ हुआ था। एज ए मिलिट्री हिस्टोरियन समहाउ जो हमारा एक्शन है 1965 का नाथुला, जेलपला, सेबुला, वो हिस्ट्री में अपीयर ही नहीं। और पैरा थी हमारे साथ, उनको भी डेकोरेशन मिली और हमारी कैजुअलिटीज भी हुई हैं, लेकिन वो कैसे स्किप कर दिया, क्यों स्किप कर दिया, द नेशन डजंट नो।
That India has changed when a gangster called Atiq Ahmed runs for cover. There is one particular phrase that Yogi Adityanath used today that has gone totally viral. Bhaglo ya bhaglo. Bhaglo, B-H-A-G, bhaglo meaning participate in the process of development. Or bhaglo, which means run away. This is a no-nonsense approach. The law-abiding citizens of this country, fed up of the mafia, the corruption, the terrorism, the threat, and the pseudo-secular Soros approach, they have come to love the Yogi approach. Why do people who say that India must dismantle Hindutva, why do these people have a problem when you say dismantle the mafia Yogi style? They say he dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle the mafia. They say dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle their secular gangsters. They say dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle the weak negativity and corruption that people like Atiq Ahmed and gangster politicians have come to represent. Doesn't Atiq Ahmed, Mukhtar Ansari and a whole lot of this gangster scum, the fact that Yogi gets them groveling, doesn't it make you want to rejoice? And that's why I began by saying that you know that India has changed when gangster scum like Atiq Ahmed run for cover.
अभी राजस्थान में मसला हुआ था भिवानी वाले में, उसमें वो जो मोनू मानेसर उसके साथी श्रीकांत पंडित है, उनकी धर्मपत्नी की पिटाई हुई, क्या क्या हुआ, बहुत सारी चीजें हुई। मामले में हरियाणा पुलिस की FIR के अलावा मतलब ये वो सारी चीजें हैं।
देखिए, एक इंडिविजुअल घटना को लेकर के परसेप्शन नहीं,
पर ये इतनी बड़ी बन जाती है सिचुएशन,
बड़ी है। मैं उसको इसकी घटना की निंदा करता हूँ मैं, लेकिन उसको ये कहें कि कोई लॉ एंड ऑर्डर खराब हो गया है, ऐसी स्थिति नहीं है।
पर ऐसा परसेप्शन बना दिया जाता है।
मैं कहता हूँ गलत बनाते हैं ना। आखिर तो हमने किसी दोषी को छोड़ा नहीं है।
फोर्थ जनरेशन आपने बोला जी, फोर्थ जनरेशन वो जो सन, वही तो मैं कह रहा था कि ग्रैंडफादर, आपके फादर, आप जो मैं मिस कर गया 20 दिन, वो विजयंत ने पूरा कर दिया कारगिल की लड़ाई। सर, कैप्टन विजयंत की क्या कहानी है, हमारे दर्शक ये जानना चाहेंगे। व्हाट इज हिज स्टोरी? लाइक ही वाज विद टू राजपूत सर? ही वाज विद टू राजपूत, 2 राजपूताना राइफल्स में थे। उनकी कहानी मैंने इस किताब में लिख दी है, विजयंत एट कारगिल।
मैं आपका पर्सनल व्यू जानना चाहता हूं। रेप के चार्ज में एक्यूज अंदर जेल, सीबीआई, बाबा राम रहीम, मनोहर लाल खट्टर का पर्सनल व्यू क्या? क्लैरिटी आनी चाहिए खट्टर साहब।
मैं बिल्कुल क्लियर हूं, जब तक मैं मुख्यमंत्री हूं तब तक मेरा कोई पर्सनल व्यू नहीं है।
करप्शन पे तो आप क्लियर थे।
करप्शन पर भी मुख्यमंत्री का ही जो विचार है वो ये है मेरा। जिस दिन मुझे अगर चेंज करने का कोई अवसर आएगा तो मुख्यमंत्री नहीं होगा तो चेंज करने की बात आएगी, करूंगा। नहीं करने की बात हो सकता है वो भी वही हो।
माशरुकुद्दीन के घर पर अब बड़ी कार्रवाई हो रही है। हिस्ट्री शीटर बताया जा रहा है, फिनेंसर बताया जा रहा है, इस गांव का प्रधान भी है और कहा जा रहा है कि ये जो मकान मेरे पीछे आप देख रहे हैं, इसे नियमों को ताक पर रख कर बनाया गया। अब इसे गिराया जाएगा। उमेश पाल हत्याकांड में शरीक जो शूटर्स थे, उनको हथियार मुहैया कराना, उनको फंडिंग करने में ये शख्स शामिल था। देखिए, आलीशान 2 मंजिला ये मकान था जो माफिया ने बनाया था, जो गलत काम करके बनाया गया था, जिसकी फंडिंग गलत तरीके से हुई थी। अब उस मकान को विकास प्राधिकरण, प्रयागराज विकास प्राधिकरण गिरा रहा है।
अभी राजस्थान में मसला हुआ था भिवानी वाले में, उसमें वो जो मोनू मानेसर, उसके साथी श्रीकांत पंडित है, उनकी धर्मपत्नी की पिटाई हुई, क्या क्या हुआ, बहुत सारी चीजें हुई। मामले में हरियाणा पुलिस की FIR के अलावा मतलब ये वो सारी चीजें हैं।
देखिए, एक इंडिविजुअल घटना को लेकर के परसेप्शन नहीं,
पर ये इतनी बड़ी बन जाती है सिचुएशन,
बड़ी है। मैं उसको इसकी घटना की निंदा करता हूं मैं, लेकिन उसको ये कहें कि कोई लॉ एंड ऑर्डर खराब हो गया है, ऐसी स्थिति नहीं है।
पर ऐसा परसेप्शन बना दिया जाता है।
मैं कहता हूँ गलत बनाते हैं ना। आखिर तो हमने किसी दोषी को छोड़ा नहीं है।
फोर्थ जनरेशन आपने बोला जी, फोर्थ जनरेशन वो जो सन, वही तो मैं कह रहा था कि ग्रैंडफादर, आपके फादर, आप जो मैं मिस कर गया 20 दिन, वो विजयंत ने पूरा कर दिया कारगिल की लड़ाई। सर, कैप्टन विजयंत की क्या कहानी है, हमारे
Viewers, we have live visuals on our screens of Manish Sisodia, former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister, being taken to the Rouse Avenue court on the completion of his 5-day remand. He is also parallelly applied for bail, and that is a matter that is likely to be taken up by the court as well. On the other hand, the Aam Aadmi Party is protesting in large numbers as we speak over the matter. Manish Sisodia has been in custody of the CBI in the Delhi excise policy scam, quote-unquote Liquorgate scandal, for 5 days after the arrest from his home, where raids had been ongoing for about 8 hours 6 days earlier. There you see we have the best visuals of Manish Sisodia being taken from the CBI headquarters, where he has been lodged, to the Rouse Avenue court complex. We'll be getting you our reporters on the ground to tell you exactly what the CBI is likely to seek in this hearing in the Rouse Avenue court. We'd also seen how just a couple of days back, when the Supreme Court had been moved seeking for bail, it had asked Manish Sisodia to go to another forum. It had opened the way for that, but it had declined to hear his plea at that time against the custody granted to the CBI. We have Anuj joining us now from the CBI headquarters, and we have Madhurima with us from the Rouse Avenue court. Let's go over to Madhurima first, where I presume we now know what time it will take for Manish Sisodia to get there. I think, Madhurima, Manish Sisodia is just a couple of minutes away from you. What is the scene over there? What is the CBI likely to ask for? What is Manish Sisodia's strategy?
Well, yes, Ankit, as you can see, any moment from now, will that barricades will be moved and the convoy that will be accompanying Manish Sisodia, the former Deputy Chief Minister, will be heading towards the Rouse Avenue Court. As you can see, the massive security deployment that has been put in front of the court over here only depicts that the entire security detail is prepared to receive the former Deputy Chief Minister. You can see heavy barricading and a separate alley for the media. The entire traffic has been stopped. People who have to go to the court are being escorted by the police officials. Delhi police, along with the team of CRPF, manning the gates of the Rouse Avenue court. In any time soon, the Deputy Chief Minister will be here. Now, what will be the course today inside the court? The CBI it's highly likely that they will be asking for more custody, extension of custody. Last time it was the CBI was awarded 5 days custody. The last time they had said that the Deputy Chief Minister, Ankit, was not cooperating and was evasive. We'll have to find out today. We'll find out that what the CBI has to say, that whether Mr. Sisodia was cooperating, did he cooperate in these past 5 days or not, Ankit, because in the bail plea that has also been applied by the council representing Manish Sisodia asserts that he has always adhered to all the summons issued by the Central Bureau of Investigation. Also, at the same time, he has always been present at any point of investigation, and that there is no point of keeping him inside the custody. We'll take you back to the visuals as I speak about the case as to last time when the entire arguments were happening in front of the Rouse Avenue Court. The CBI said that Manish Sisodia was dodging many questions, and that in the past couple of months the CBI had arrested a couple of people. They have interrogated and combed out a lot of evidence. When presented with that evidence, Manish Sisodia chose not to answer and to dodge that question, forcing the Central Bureau of Investigation to arrest Manish Sisodia and then seek custody. After that, the counsel for Manish Sisodia had said that the tweaks that the CBI is talking, the evidence that the CBI is talking, the entire final excise policy was okayed by the Lieutenant Governor. Why now interrogation at the against him? So this was the argument that was put forth by Manish Sisodia. We also know that after the custody was granted to the Central Bureau of Investigation, Sisodia had also knocked the doors of the Supreme Court as well, Ankit, where the Supreme Court denied hearing and asked Sisodia's counsel, Abhishek Manu Singhvi, to knock the doors of the competent court, or at least come through the path of the Delhi High Court. So this what happened at the Supreme Court. Now that the 5-day custody has ended, we'll have to see as to what more evidence has the CBI gathered, because the CBI will have to produce some more evidence, some more very concrete arguments in front of the court if they want the custody of the Deputy Chief Minister, Ankit. So we'll have to wait and watch. As we know, the security has been heavily deployed here. We'll be bringing the first visuals of the former Deputy Chief Minister for our viewers, as my camera person Surinder Shah.
Absolutely. And as you can see also, even as Madhurima awaits at the Rouse Avenue Court Complex, we are told that the Aam Aadmi Party office or in that vicinity, there is a massive protest ongoing. You saw just a short while back, Amanatullah Khan is leading it. Let's listen in. A fairly large protest being carried out by the Aam Aadmi Party. You can see they're face to face with the anti-riot personnel also over there. There are barricades in place, but the Aam Aadmi Party clearly not letting this go. This arrest of Manish Sisodia has been somewhat of a watershed moment insofar as the party's treatment and handling of the various corruption allegations against it go. We've seen Satyendra Jain and Manish Sisodia formally resign from their positions as ministers. However, they remain ministers without portfolio. Manish Sisodia is no longer the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi. In fact, nobody is. It's the other 4 ministers in the Kejriwal cabinet that now have all the various portfolios allocated to them. Sisodia and Satyendra Jain do not have any portfolios allocated to them. it remains, of course, to be seen how the events at the court unfold. I think and I believe that he's about to reach. We have Harsha also at the CBI headquarters. Harsha, what is the CBI likely to seek? What has the last 5 days of custodial interrogation yielded? What more can you tell us about the legal strategies at play?
Exactly, Ankit. Now 5 days of interrogation. What Manish Sisodia have responded to the questions of CBI officers and what not. All will be told by the CBI legal prosecutors in front of the judge if they want more days of the custody of Deputy CM Manish Sisodia. But if we talk about 5 days back, because the CBI custody was of 5 days, if we talk about February 26, when the CBI prosecutors produced Manish Sisodia, and when they argued in the court, they clearly stated that Manish Sisodia was being incooperative. He didn't answer to any of the questions. Meanwhile, he also didn't tell about the documents and pen drive, about everything which CBI officers were asking him continuously. That was the reason and the grounds of the arrest which were made. While if we talk about Manish Sisodia, lawyers, they were stating that because Manish Sisodia is not answering, that could not be the ground of arrest. Now, today we have to see that in this 5 days interrogation of CBI, whether Deputy CM Manish Sisodia have informed or told CBI agencies anything or not regarding the questions which were asked by the agency, because some very important questions regarding the document, regarding the pen drive, regarding the hatching of the plan, because the CBI agencies have clearly stated the entire plan was hatched by Deputy CM Manish Sisodia and was secretly framed by him as well. Therefore, there are certain questions which he needs to answer, and if he has not answered that questions in the span of 5 days, then CBI will again ask for the custody of Deputy CM Manish Sisodia. But this time, for how many days and how many days CBI will be given custody or not, that has to be seen. But Manish Sisodia in his bail application has clearly mentioned that the custody of CBI there will be no fruitful purpose of my custody to the agency. That he has stated in his bail application as well. Now we have to see that today Manish Sisodia's lawyers, what are they going to argue inside court regarding the arrest, regarding his custody, because Supreme Court has already refused to intervene in this entire matter. They have clearly stated that there are more sufficient legal remedies to Manish Sisodia where he can go and talk about it, and he can approach to High Court as well. Supreme Court has refused to. Now Aam Aadmi Party is also trying their best to move to High Court, because they already stated that they will move to High Court. And today AAP Karyakartas are also protesting outside DDU Marg, outside Aam Aadmi Party office, because Aam Aadmi Party leaders have clearly been stating that this is all dirty politics and political vendetta. Now we have to see today that what the judge of Rouse Avenue Court hears when the arguments from both sides will be kept in front of him, and whether CBI will be given custody of further more days, and that of how many days. Ankit, back to you.
Absolutely. We are likely, like Harsha said, to find out in just the next couple of minutes. I believe they have reached the court complex. Over to Madhurima, who's at the court complex. Madhurima, what do you see? We'll just get you viewers. Manish Sisodia has reached the Rouse Avenue Court Complex. He has just entered. We have our reporters on the ground who have been bringing us minute-to-minute information. We've been tracking his entire drive from the CBI headquarters, where he had been lodged for the last 5 days, to the Rouse Avenue Court, where it is presumed that the CBI may or may not seek additional custody. He has a bail plea also. Manish Sisodia is going to try and get bail. He has been in custodial interrogation for the last 5 days. What has that yielded is the big question. Continues its protests at its own premises, at its DDU office. We are told that's where this protest is ongoing. We've seen a couple of its MLAs and leaders also as part of the protests there, eyeball to eyeball with the CRPF over there. Amanatullah Khan had been seen standing on top of a barricade. At both the Rouse Avenue Court Complex and also at the site of this protest, there is heavy deployment of anti-riot personnel and CRPF personnel. Meanwhile, we also have BJP spokesperson Sambit Patra speaking. Let's listen in.
चाइना की जो कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी है वो हार्मोनी कोट अनकोट, क्योंकि अंग्रेजी में उनका भाषण था, दे वांट हार्मनी, वो हार्मनी चाहती है। उन्होंने कहा कि मैंने पूछा कि क्या चीन एक राष्ट्र है? इस चाइना अ नेशन? तो किसी ने उन्हें चाइना एक नेशन क्यों है वो समझाया कि चाइना में येलो रिवर है और येलो रिवर ही चाइना को एक नेशन के रूप में बांधती है। जब चाइना येलो रिवर के उफान को कंट्रोल कर लेती है तो चाइना महान बन जाती है और चाइना एक राष्ट्र बन जाता है। राहुल गांधी ने येलो रिवर देखा, ठीक बात है, मगर राहुल गांधी जी को इतने बड़े यात्रा करने के बाद गंगा नहीं दिखी। राहुल गांधी जी गंगा नहीं देख पाए और हिंदुस्तान एक राष्ट्र है ये वो मानते नहीं है। वो वहां भी जाके कह रहे थे कि एक एग्रीमेंट है, एक समझौता है। इंडिया इज एन एग्रीमेंट। चाइना हार्मनी चाहती है, वहां नेशनलिज्म है क्योंकि वहां येलो रिवर है। गंगा उन्हें दिखा नहीं क्योंकि देखने की कोशिश नहीं की। मुझे आश्चर्य है, राहुल गांधी विदेश की भूमि में जाकर कहते हैं कि हम ऑपोजिशन के लीडर हैं, हमें बोलने नहीं दिया जाता है। वो वहां कहते हैं कि हमारे टेलीफोन के अंदर पेगासस छोड़ दिया गया है और केवल मेरे ही नहीं, विपक्ष के तमाम जो लीडरान हैं उन सब के मोबाइल फोन के अंदर पेगासस था और उन्हें इंटेलिजेंस ऑफिसर, जो इंटेलिजेंस ऑफिसर राहुल गांधी जी के मोबाइल में पेगासस छोड़कर उनकी बातों को सुन रहे थे, उन्हीं इंटेलिजेंस ऑफिसर्स ने राहुल गांधी को फोन करके कहा, अरे यहां वहां की बात मत करना, ये जो आप लेन देन की बातें करते हो ना वो सब रिकॉर्डिंग हो रही है क्योंकि हमने तुम्हारे में पेगासस लगा दिया है। राहुल जी, ये पेगासस लगा दिया था। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जांच कमेटी बैठाई। जांच कमेटी ने कहा आप अपने अपने मोबाइल दीजिए, हम जांच करके देखते हैं उसमें पेगासस है कि क्या है। क्यों नहीं दिया? क्यों नहीं दिया अपना मोबाइल? आपने ना आपने अपना मोबाइल जांच करने के लिए दिया, ना किसी ने आपके पार्टी में से अपने मोबाइल को जांच करने के लिए दिया, और जाके कैम्ब्रिज में कह रहे हैं कि हमारे मोबाइल के अंदर पेगासस है, हमारे मोबाइल में जासूसी हो रही है। राहुल जी, जासूसी कैसे होती थी और सरकारें जासूसी कैसे कराती थी, मैं उसका उदाहरण देता हूं। यूपीए 2 के अंदर याद करिए, वित्त मंत्री प्रणब मुखर्जी, बाद में जो महामहिम राष्ट्रपति बने, आदरणीय प्रणब मुखर्जी जी कह रहे थे मेरे कमरे को बग कराया है कांग्रेस पार्टी के एक बड़े मंत्री ने, चिदम्बरम साहब ने। सोनिया गांधी जी के कहने पर मेरे कमरे को बग कराया गया है और मैं जो बातें करता हूं वो सारी बातें सोनिया जी सुन लेती। ये तो आप अपने घर के अंदर कर रहे थे। 9000 फोन टैप होता था, यह तो आपने आरटीआई में रिप्लाई दिया है कि यूपीए 2 के कार्यकाल में 9000 फोन टैप होते थे और बाद में यह संख्या बढ़ के 1 लाख फोन और रोज 500 ईमेल पढ़े जाते थे जासूसी करके। ये तो आपने आरटीआई के माध्यम से और पब्लिक फोरम में मौजूद है। और तो और तत्कालीन प्रधानमंत्री डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह ने बिजनेस कम्युनिटी को एड्रेस करते हुए बड़े स्पष्ट रूप से कहा था, हां, देश की सुरक्षा के लिए हम फोन टेपिंग कराते हैं। आप फोन टेपिंग कराते थे, आप ईमेल चोरी चोरी चुपके चुपके पढ़ते थे, आप अपने मंत्रियों की बातों को सुनते थे, उनके कमरों को बग कराते थे, और यहां जांच होने के बावजूद अपने मोबाइल फोन को आपने सबमिट भी नहीं किया और जाके विदेश के भूमि में कहते हैं कि हमारे देश में खतरा है, हमारे देश में फोन टेपिंग होती है, हमारे देश में लोकतंत्र नहीं है। और मुझे दुख इस बात का है, जो लोग वहां ऑडियंस में बैठे थे कैम्ब्रिज में, उनमें से हमारे किसी सम्मानित सिख बंधु की तरफ हाथ करते हुए कहा उन्होंने कि आप तो सिख हैं, क्या आप हिंदुस्तानी हैं? उन्होंने कहा हाँ, मैं हिंदुस्तान से हूं। फिर उन्होंने पूछा क्या आप मुस्लिम हैं? उन्होंने कहा हाँ। क्या आप हिंदुस्तान से? कहा हाँ। फिर कहते हैं कि हिंदुस्तान में सिख, ईसाई और मुसलमान जो हैं वो तो सेकेंड क्लास सिटीजन है, वो तो द्वयम दर्जे के नागरिक हैं। आप सोच के देखिए, हिंदुस्तान को डैमेज करने के लिए, टू डिस्ट्रॉय द फैब्रिक ऑफ इंडिया, राहुल गांधी और गांधी परिवार किस कद तक नीचे गिर सकता है, कहां तक ये जा सकते हैं, मुझे आज सोचने के लिए मजबूर किया है वो 1 घंटे के स्पीच ने राहुल गांधी का। इज मिस्टर गांधी एक्टिंग एज ए एजेंट? हिंदुस्तान को नीचे गिराने के लिए अगर कोई एजेंसी काम कर रही है, उस एजेंसी के एजेंट के रूप में कहीं राहुल गांधी ऑन पेरोल काम तो नहीं कर रहे हैं? क्योंकि ये जो सवाल
Viewers, these are live visuals that have come in of Manish Sisodia inside the Rouse Avenue Court complex. You can see he's surrounded but clearly visible. There he is in the red maroon t-shirt with a number of people around him, including police as well as CRPF personnel. He's been taken inside the court where the judge will shortly preside on the hearing of his bail, or rather his continued remand. We await to hear how much, if at all, the CBI will seek remand and whether or not they have found anything in their custodial interrogation over the last 5 days. But as of right now, his 5-day custody has ended. It was scheduled till March the 4th. And these are the first visuals coming in of Manish Sisodia himself today. We had tracked his entire route from the CBI's headquarters to the Rouse Avenue court. We'd seen how he had been brought there with a number of vehicles surrounding in the convoy, and there was a tight security presence at the Rouse Avenue court complex as well. A lot of security personnel and anti-riot personnel there. There is a protest ongoing at the Aam Aadmi Party office at the DDU road. We've been showing you glimpses of that as well, with some of the party's leaders in attendance, including the likes of Amanatullah Khan and some other MLAs, I presume. We can see these visuals on our screens right now. There appears to be almost no room to maneuver between the protesters and the anti-riot personnel. We have Madhurima who's standing by at the Rouse Avenue court complex. Madhurima, what is the current situation over there? What are we hearing from the Rouse Avenue court and the judge?
Well, Ankit, the judge is yet to preside at the court where Manish Sisodia is already present inside the courtroom where the hearing will be done. At present, he is consulting to the lawyers, but let me take you to the pictures over here as I speak. You can see that how the heavy security has been put in place right in front of the Rouse Avenue court. Heavy security deployments. We just saw Manish Sisodia entering inside that court. Judge yet to preside. The CBI officials and the counsels present at the court. Ankit, in just a couple of minutes the hearing will begin. He was supposed to be produced at 2. He's tad early and he's waiting for the judge to arrive. At 2 o'clock the arguments will begin, and like I was pointing out just a few minutes back, that today the CBI is highly likely that will be asking for more custody, but for that to gain that kind of custody of the former Deputy Chief Minister, the CBI counsel will have to produce enough evidence in front of the court as to what have they found in the past 5 days of the custody. In some time the arguments will begin, but Manish Sisodia, what the point that needs to be highlighted here is, has also applied for a bail, where he has said that he is going to give all the cooperation, adhere to all the summons, and that there is no point of keeping him in the custody, and that he is going to abide by all the rules and notices issued by the CBI in this entire investigation. Last time, yes, Ankit. So in just a couple of moments,
Madhurima, do hold that thought for just a second. At the protest site, I'm told we have Piyush Ori standing by. Piyush, if you can quickly give us a glimpse of what's going on there while this hearing begins. Piyush, over to you.
Well, what I can tell you is that the noise level over here is quite high, and it is very difficult to listen to anything. But what I can tell you is that there are clear members of Aam Aadmi Party who are protesting over here, and what you can see over here is Amanatullah
Khan, Sanjay Singh, Jarnail Singh, and all the top leaders of Aam Aadmi Party have again begun to protest outside their office, trying to again say that all this which is being done is on the part of Modi government to malign Aam Aadmi Party, and they will not rest till the time Manish Sisodia gets released. All this is being coming at a time when there is going to be a crucial hearing of whether Manish Sisodia, his remand is going to be extended or not. So yes, all eyes would be at Rouse Avenue Court, which is just few meters away from here, and it is going to be now interesting to watch that what verdict the court is going to give. Is the remand of Manish Sisodia going to be increased, or will he be released on bail? Meanwhile, I'll just make you have a word with some of the Aam Aadmi Party workers also. क्यों प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं?
हम इसलिए कर रहे हैं कि आज देश के सबसे अच्छे शिक्षा मंत्री को तानाशाही सरकार यानी मोदी सरकार ने जेल भेजने का काम किया है। ये हमारे दिल्ली के छोटे छोटे बच्चों की शिक्षा के साथ ये इतना बड़ा जुल्म है जिसके खिलाफ हम सब
एक चीज मेरे को बताइए, अगर तो वो बेकसूर है तो उन्हें कोर्ट रिहा कर देगी, आप क्यों मतलब ऐसा कर रहे हैं?
देखिए, अब तक कितने बार उन पे जांच बैठी है, क्या मिला है? कुछ मिला हो तो वो बताएं भी तो सही। कुछ नहीं मिल रहा है, और जो बीजेपी के भ्रष्टाचारी लोग हैं उनके खिलाफ सीबीआई क्यों नहीं जाती है? ये हमारा प्रश्न है मोदी जी से।
So here you can see that the people and the workers of Aam Aadmi Party are protesting at the Aam Aadmi Party office, and they are asking that they will not rest till the time Manish Sisodia is being released. So all eyes are now going to be at the Rouse Avenue Court, where a crucial judgment is going to come, that whether the remand of Manish Sisodia is going to be increased or whether he be released on the bail. Back in the studio.
Absolutely. Piyush Shori there getting us the voice of the Aam Aadmi Party. They want their minister released. They are standing by him quite clearly. We've not necessarily seen this all the time, at least in the case of Satyendra Jain, but here in Manish Sisodia's case, on the occasion of his being presented at the Rouse Avenue Court, again, the Aam Aadmi Party making quite a bit of noise there, pretty exuberant protest we've seen. We have minute-to-minute updates likely to begin very soon as the judge begins presiding over the hearing, and we'll also find out what the CBI has in its arguments. Manish Sisodia, at the end of his 5-day remand to the CBI, is in court once again. We'll get you all the updates in just a few seconds. Stay with us.
That India has changed when a gangster called Atiq Ahmed runs for cover. There is one particular phrase that Yogi Adityanath used today that has gone totally viral. Bhaglo ya bhaglo. Bhaglo, B-H-A-G, bhaglo, meaning participate in the process of development. Or bhaglo, which means run away. This is a no-nonsense approach. The law-abiding citizens of this country, fed up of the mafia, the corruption, the terrorism, the threat, and the pseudo-secular Soros approach, they have come to love the Yogi approach. Why do people who say that India must dismantle Hindutva, why do these people have a problem when you say dismantle the mafia Yogi style? They say he dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle the mafia. They say dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle their secular gangsters. They say dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle the weak negativity and corruption that people like Atiq Ahmed and gangster politicians have come to represent. Doesn't Atiq Ahmed, Mukhtar Ansari and a whole lot of this gangster scum, the fact that Yogi gets them groveling, doesn't it make you want to rejoice? And that's why I began by saying that you know that India has changed when gangster scum like Atiq Ahmed run for cover.
अभी राजस्थान में मसला हुआ था भिवानी वाले में, उसमें वो जो मोनू मानेसर उसके साथी श्रीकांत पंडित है, उनकी धर्मपत्नी की पिटाई हुई, क्या क्या हुआ, बहुत सारी चीजें हुई मामले में। हरियाणा पुलिस की एफआईआर के अलावा मतलब ये वो सारी चीजें हैं।
देखिए, एक इंडिविजुअल घटना को लेकर के परसेप्शन नहीं,
पर ये इतनी बड़ी बन जाती है सिचुएशन,
घटना बड़ी है। मैं उसको इसकी घटना की निंदा करता हूँ मैं, लेकिन उसको ये कहें कि कोई लॉ एंड ऑर्डर खराब हो गया है, ऐसी स्थिति नहीं है।
पर ऐसा परसेप्शन बना दिया जाता है।
मैं कहता हूँ गलत बनाते हैं ना। आखिर तो हमने किसी दोषी को छोड़ा नहीं है।
माशरुकुद्दीन के घर पर अब बड़ी कार्रवाई हो रही है। हिस्ट्री शीटर बताया जा रहा है, फिनेंसर बताया जा रहा है, इस गांव का प्रधान भी है और कहा जा रहा है कि ये जो मकान मेरे पीछे आप देख रहे हैं, इसे नियमों को ताक पर रख कर बनाया गया। अब इसे गिराया जाएगा। उमेश पाल हत्याकांड में शरीक जो शूटर्स थे, उनको हथियार मुहैया कराना, उनको फंडिंग करने में ये शख्स शामिल था। देखिए, आलीशान 2 मंजिला ये मकान था जो माफिया ने बनाया था, जो गलत काम करके बनाया गया था, जिसकी फंडिंग गलत तरीके से हुई थी। अब उस मकान को विकास प्राधिकरण, प्रयागराज विकास प्राधिकरण गिरा रहा है।
पहली लड़ाई कौन सी देखी आपने?
मैं 1962 में कमीशन हो गया।
और यू कमीशन आफ्टर द वॉर सर?
यस, लेकिन 65 में था। मेरा 65 का रोल तो बहुत जबरदस्त था। चीन के साथ मुठभेड़ हुआ था। एज ए मिलिट्री हिस्टोरियन समहाउ जो हमारा एक्शन है 1965 का, नाथुला, जेलपला, सेबुला, वो हिस्ट्री में अपीयर ही नहीं। 4 पैरा थी हमारे साथ, उनको भी डेकोरेशन मिली और हमारी कैजुअलिटीज भी हुई हैं। लेकिन वो कैसे स्किप कर दिया, क्यों स्किप कर दिया, द नेशन डजंट नो।
That India has changed when a gangster called Atiq Ahmed runs for cover. There is one particular phrase that Yogi Adityanath used today that has gone totally viral. Bhag lo ya bhag lo. Bhag lo, B-H-A-A-G, bhag lo, meaning participate in the process of development. Or bhag lo, which means run away. This is a no-nonsense approach. The law-abiding citizens of this country, fed up of the mafia, the corruption, the terrorism, the threat, and the pseudo-secular Soros approach, they have come to love the Yogi approach. Why do people who say that India must dismantle Hindutva, why do these people have a problem when you say dismantle the mafia Yogi style? They say he dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle the mafia. They say dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle their secular gangsters. They say dismantle Hindutva, I say dismantle the weak negativity and corruption that people like Atiq Ahmed and gangster politicians have come to represent. Doesn't Atiq Ahmed, Mukhtar Ansari and a whole lot of this gangster scum, the fact that Yogi gets them groveling, doesn't it make you want to rejoice? And that's why I began by saying that you know that India has changed when gangsters scum like Atiq Ahmed run for cover.
अभी राजस्थान में मसला हुआ था भिवानी वाले में, उसमें वो जो मोनू मानेसर, उसके साथी श्रीकांत पंडित है, उनकी धर्मपत्नी की पिटाई हुई, क्या क्या हुआ, बहुत सारी चीजें हुई। मामले में हरियाणा पुलिस की FIR के अलावा मतलब ये वो सारी चीजें हैं।
देखिए, एक इंडिविजुअल घटना को लेकर के परसेप्शन नहीं,
पर ये इतनी बड़ी बन जाती है सिचुएशन,
घटना बड़ी है। मैं उसको इसकी घटना की निंदा करता हूँ मैं, लेकिन उसको ये कहें कि कोई लॉ एंड ऑर्डर खराब हो गया है, ऐसी स्थिति नहीं है।
पर ऐसा परसेप्शन बना दिया जाता है।
मैं कहता हूँ गलत बनाते हैं ना। आखिर तो हमने किसी दोषी को छोड़ा नहीं है।
4 जनरेशन आपने बोला जी, 4 जनरेशन वो जो सन, वही तो मैं कह रहा था कि ग्रैंडफादर, आपके फादर, आप जो मैं मिस कर गया 20 दिन, वो मिलियन थे।
Viewers, we're live and breaking, and right now as we speak, the former Delhi Deputy CM Manish Sisodia is in court. Hearing on his remand and bail will start very shortly. At the same time, the Aam Aadmi Party is continuing its protest. This is the big story we're tracking right now. Let's go straight across to Piyush Ori and also my colleague Madhurima, who's joining us live. Piyush, I just want to come to you. We'll go across to Piyush and Madhurima in just a short while. You can see the visuals coming in where the Delhi court will be hearing Sisodia's bail plea. This is the big update we have got for you here on Republic TV. Now, the Aam Aadmi Party last time had also said that the arrest of Manish Sisodia is unjust. Once again, we see the Aam Aadmi Party continue to come out on the streets. Once again, we are seeing the Aam Aadmi Party continuing their protest. Those visuals are coming in on the right hand of your screen. Now remember that a CBI remand of Manish Sisodia has ended today. He is in court right now. Let's see what will happen next. And to understand what will happen next, let's go across to Madhurima, who's reporting live from the
Rouse Avenue Court. Madhurima, I'm coming to you right now. What we can see on a screen is that Manish Sisodia has reached the court and he's also filed a bail plea. We can expect more movement, we can expect more details coming out. Just take us exactly what we can expect next right now, Madhurima.
Well, yes, Shivangi, the former Deputy Chief Minister has reached the court. He is waiting with his lawyers for the judge to preside. The time that was given was 2 p.m. and right on my clock it says 2:01. So any time now, Shivangi, the arguments will begin. Now, what is likely to happen is that it is highly likely that the Central Bureau of Investigation is going to ask for more custody of the Deputy Chief Minister, and for that they will have to substantiate that seek of with concrete arguments, and that will only happen that would have only happened if Manish Sisodia would have answered perfectly in the past 5 days, because remember, on Sunday when he was called for interrogation, the basis of the arrest was that the former Deputy Chief Minister was being evasive and he was dodging some very pertinent questions when he was presented with all the evidence that the Central Bureau of Investigation had combed out of the previous investigation at the time when they had interrogated the multiple accused in the entire matter. When he was presented with those questions, he tried to dodge them, he was evasive, and this was the basic point of the CBI in front of the Rouse Avenue Court, that Manish Sisodia needs to be put into custody so that some tough questions could be asked from the former Deputy Chief Minister.